their favors. There's going to be a lot of footage on it, as I believe they've played it almost every single matchup so far. Let's get underway with round number 1. On defense first is Rogue, and interestingly enough, they will go for a second floor hold rather than going upstairs into Bar Cocktail.
Fairly confident that Rogue has a lot of tricks up their sleeve on Kafe. If they don't work out for them in this match, it's likely that they're going to have a struggle for the rest of the best of 3, as this is definitely a map that they very much wanted to get to. And Rogue's going to have to make the most of it. Evil Geniuses, on the other hand, they're going to be bringing, interestingly, a Jackal, who is going to aid them in clearing that top floor via those footsteps.
Attackers must locate.
Generally, the first step for attacking, whether onto the top floor or middle floor of Kafe, is to clear the top floor and go down from there, as the map's a bit of a box.
Very interested at the role changes already that we've seen from Evil Geniuses. They started off the group stages by changing just what members did what. Necrox, who was traditionally their anchor, had moved to a roam and entry fragger, while they'd moved Young closer to site into a support role on attack. Canadian will typically run the Jackal, but they've given it to NVK in this case. Now Canadian playing the Twitch. So just a couple changes made as they attack onto the roof.
We also don't even have an Ashe on the Evil Geniuses side. They're definitely favoring that utility, and I think rightfully so, as this attack is going to be utility heavy. NVK just waiting up on the roof. Pretty typical on Kafe attacks that you'll have a lot of presence on the roof as an attacking team, just waiting for the round to commence, really.
Looked like Easily was going to leap out of the window onto the balcony to take the rappel. Evil Geniuses member down, but wasn't able to do it. Now, both of these teams have scrimmed each other an awful lot. They are both very known quantities, and could argue that they are 2 of the most notable North American teams at the moment. They know each other's strategies very well. Rogue knows Kafe very, very well itself, and Evil Geniuses will assuredly be using whatever strategies they can to try and thwart them. Already some contact as Slash pushes on the stairs. Eclipse tags in to put some support and covering fire down onto Canadian inside of Cigar Lounge just by pixel spot, but none of those shots landing just yet.
Slow clear here for EG on the top floor. Rogue just trying to avoid any points, and it's going to actually go against them as BC gets the nade onto Slashug, who has been performing pretty well in this tournament, but he's not going to have a chance to perform in this round.
Canadian will clear out Cocktail Lounge just on the eastern side of that 3rd floor for a push. I feel like we say it every single time, but the most important aspect of attacking any site with sites above it is to clear out the floor above. It gives you a lot of pressure and presence, as well as depriving it from the defenders. A lot of hatches open, and with Easily still alive, they can never rest easy knowing that their heartbeat can be picked up at any moment with a Nitro Cell there to greet them as well. See, the Pulse will be able to relay that information to the team. You've only lost 1 member so far. It was the Jaeger of Slash, taken out by BC's frag grenades. It'd be nice to see a tally as to how many nade kills he's gotten so far this event. Eclipse just on the landing of White Stairs, pops his head. 2 of the highest fire rate weapons in the game as Canadian and Eclipse jostle with one another, but still can't find it. You hear some smokes go down now as Easily pushes in. Brian picks off Young. Rogue has evened it out. Brian a 2nd kill before Necrox trades him, and now it's 3v3. Try to get to site, BC to Easily, Eclipse to BC. They're running out of time, but Eclipse and Avian take it, and Rogue get round number 1.
Good delay on the top floor there from Rogue. Evil Geniuses taking way too slow. And once they had the control upstairs, they didn't utilize it very well. Opening up the drop and simply pushing it to the side, expecting smokes to cover the flank. That's not going to happen. And Eclipse, with an excellent flank from Dining into Train, will deny that defuse plant inside of Wheel Room. Now, Evil Genius is obviously going to reevaluate their strategies next time they attack that bomb site, but it's going to have to be a while from now, as it's a defense of the Bar Cocktail Lounge from EG, which is much more typical. The top floor of Kafe, widely considered to be the more viable bomb site. The fact that Rogue was able to win on that middle floor early means that they're not going to have to worry too much about holding it later. It's definitely a good momentum shift early on.
There's always a gamble when you take a site that is seen as potentially less viable than the main site, especially on Kafe, because now they can rest a little bit easier going up. The other downside is that you end up losing that round. Really what matters more than anything, as I say really 3 times,
really?
Is that really?
Really?
is that you now find yourself in a position holding a lead. So they'll go to attack. We've seen a lot of Ying and a lot of Zofia used in conjunction with one another can be particularly deadly. You can blind them, you can smoke them off, and then you can concuss the ever-living heck out of them onto the actual site itself, allowing one of your entry fraggers to be able to get in. I would imagine that right now it's going to be Brian and Eclipse covering that role, as Avian with Diffuser will likely be doing support.
I mean, it definitely looks like that we are slowly inching out of the trap meta into the disruption meta. And with the addition of those two new operators, those attackers that are going to be coming out later that you just saw announced, I think we're going to sink farther and farther into said disruption meta.
The trap meta does, I guess, sort of counter Leon.
Kind in a way, yeah.
They've taken complete control of the roof. See celebratory wiggle from Eclipse as they open up the top hatch over red stairs and drop a drone down. One EMP's already going to go off, and it sounds like a second too to help dislodge some of the defenders, as well as taking out their gadgets, making it easier for them to drop and get inside of sight. Pressure applied to the wall side of Cigar, and more drones too, as you see two currently being used to try to figure out where the defenders sit. At the moment, as you can see from above, Cigar and Piano are completely vacated. EG is doubled up on a freezer and a bathroom hold, with Canadian playing by that Mira. Putting a Bandit there is about as typical as it gets, as your big focus is going to be on Bandit tricking that wall. But from below, NBK lurks and can potentially flank up at any point. It doesn't appear that Rogue has been able to find him on drone as we hit the halfway mark through the round.
Slow going here for Rogue, rightfully so. And this is what you got to expect on the top floor attack. Bandit's going to be playing inside of that bathroom, looking to stall out the piano push as much as possible. That's Canadian. He's going to be able to Bandit trick his mirror window should a Thatcher and a Hibana come his way.
Very similar to what we saw on the second floor, is that both teams incredibly patient. This is a supremacy style attack where they wait until the final 30 seconds before collapsing on the defenders. A team that I guess Rogue would know well, as they vanquished just yesterday. In fact, their strong play on this site was integral for it. Canadian gets Eclipse, and NBK through the wall tries to pressure one, but Brian and Slash answer back. NBK unable to answer, but BC and Necrox with a flurry will leave just one. Avian all on his own gets the diffuser down. And you can see with easily done, it's all up to the Bird. He's by himself against three members of EG. Will need to guard that diffuser, but outside NBK comes, takes them down like a clay pigeon. They grab that diffuser and we are tied at 1.
Defense now looking pretty strong on Kafe. Different bomb sites from each team, but the way that EG held that was pretty beautiful. They didn't overextend in any instance. They had control over everything they really needed, which was the reading room downstairs as well as the main bomb sites upstairs. A little bit of a misread from Rogue. They played it way too slow, expected maybe some aggression for some picks, but it just wasn't happening there. And as they made that final push into the site, they had nothing going their way, no amount of control that would aid them, and not enough disruption to really get that diffuse plant down and actually cover properly. Looks like we might have a rehost potentially here, as this was in the prep phase. MDK is going to drop as well, so it's likely to be a rehost here, ladies and gentlemen.
Attackers have recovered their defeat.
Evil Geniuses file out with all tied up. That'll end round number 3. On a draw, we'll come back at 1 apiece.
Unfortunate. But yeah, still an even match for both teams. See if which team is able to get their attacks down a little bit stronger moving forward.
Now, one thing I liked about that attack was, from both teams, was you didn't really see any member of either team not performing up to snuff. The pushes were decently coordinated. They understand the way that EG roams on the site and the way that Rogue likes to attack it. They almost always maintained a strong buddy system to ensure that you were trying to fight for trades. I mean, if you look no further than just the speed at which that kill feed moved, you know that there were multiple crossfires set up so that when one went down, another would be taken out immediately. That's the way to play, and really speaks to the coordination of both of these teams as well. So as the players file back into the lobby, we should be getting underway in just a moment on Kafe. It won't show it, however, the second floor, known as Train, will be locked for Rogue, so they can go either to bakery down on the first floor, which is very unlikely, or they can go up top to bar and cocktail, the site that we just saw EG play on.
See, that is very much more likely. Unless when Rogue references that they have a lot of things up their sleeves, they mean, yeah, we're going to do a kitchen bakery defense and we're going to do it successfully. That's something that doesn't often happen. Usually if you go down to the bottom floor on this map for defense, the only reason you're going to win it is through just pure dumb luck and negligence on the other team. It's pretty hard for an attack to throw that assault. So we will likely see that top floor defense, as you said, and I'm expecting it to keep going the way it has been so far. As you said earlier, a lot of these engagements just going as you would expect because no one's really not showing up. Everybody is present and accounted for, names on point, and their gameplay is as you would expect.
I was a little confused as to what they had the Zofia of easily doing downstairs. He took NVK in a 1v1. I would imagine that he was probably stuck either on flank watch or a delayed clear.
So I would have expected what they're probably doing there, and that's actually, I didn't even think about this. NVK was playing in Reading Room to counter that push exactly, because think about Zofia and what she can do from inside of Reading Room to attack at top floor. You can open up the drop down and freezer, and if not the drop down, you can open up the floor next to the drop down, and you just flood freezer with the concussions. So that's like the perfect role to be putting into your Reading Room and doing that disruption, and that's like a core part of the defense. So obviously, that was the plan for Rogue, but EG reading into that and having a counter in place. NVK, one of the best, I think, individual players to put in that counter spot by himself, especially on an Ela.
The exact same operators being ran from EG on this site as we get underway with round number 3. We'll head back into Cafe. And no surprises, they'll go up to bar cocktail. As you said, they are not some of their North American brethren who would rather go down to kitchen bakery.
We can't, but yeah, we are seeing the setup here from Rogue, as it looks like they're going to be cutting off rotation between the bathroom and the rest of freezer. So there's two different ways you can do that, right? There's two different ways you can do this setup by freezer. You can either open up rotation there and play a mirror window inside of the bathroom, giving whoever plays on that mirror window a lot more versatility and rotation, which is what EG did do. But or you could do what Rogue is doing here, which is cut off that rotation so that you just don't have to think about it. It makes holding certain things a little bit more difficult, but it also means if you lose control of White Hallway or Pixel Spot, which is just outside of White Hallway inside of Piano, that you don't lose overall control of the site because there's a rotation in freezer. Since that's not the case.
It gives you more control over that bar back stock room as well. You don't necessarily have somebody playing deep in the freezer. And if a second mirror is put up on the wall on the eastern side of the building, just outside of Cocktail, then you have that double lane to be able to see from quite far away. We've seen some ACOG operators been played from there before if they get pushed off of Cocktail inside of Cigar. Hatch from above will blow. And you can see it's about a minute. They've just started their roam clear on that second floor.
Looks like it's just going to be NVK again on that Jackal. He is really favoring the Jackal, and no Ash is kind of a weird thing to be seeing. I honestly, you say Ela Ash main, and almost sometimes it could be a derogatory thing, but I think NVK, one of the best Ela Ash mains out there, having him play Jackal is almost like you're hindering him, but clearly, I think it's working out for him so far as he peeks into Dining. He's actually going to lose the fight, though, to Eclipse, who is all the way outside of Dining with a little melee hole there in the wall, expecting that push. Slashhug's going to get a second for Rogue as Canadian, the team captain, goes down. And that's a lot of the roam clear just done and dusted for Evil Geniuses. They're going to rely on a 3-man push into the site, likely.
It also means more time is going to need to be wasted to pop those mirrors. BC is able to get them from below using his skeleton key, but he's going to be pressured as now Slash takes out Necrox, and 2 members of EG remain. They have been able to roam freely and wildly, though Slash pays from BC, but you can see Eclipse waiting. Lights up the buck, but he manages to get away. They'll play Ring Around the Rosie through the doorway with 1 minute left.
Every single time Evil Genius is pushed in, except for this time, Young's going to take down Eclipse, and Rogue are feeling very strong right now, but they are putting it into a 2-on-3. BC getting picked up by Young. Good teamwork there. Still has the diffuser in hand, but with only 40 seconds, they don't have a lot of time to work with. Rogue obviously going to come off that roam.
You can see they'll creep up top of red. They're both together. There's still a smoke and a yokai in play, as well as a nitro cell. There's 3 operators worth of utility to stop a push in its tracks when both members of the attack try to flood in through the same angle. Brian will seek the comfort of Cocktail Lounge, and a smoke goes off a little early. He'll outduel BC, even though that Akong has a much greater range and easily shreds through Young. Rogue regains the lead.
Good hold there from Rogue. The main thing to note is that they completely countered the clear of the roamers downstairs. That was a well done hold. Every single time Evil Geniuses pushed into the building, they were met by someone in an unwinnable angle. Most notably Eclipse and Slashug. Well done downstairs. Especially after those 2 players were lost. You saw Rogue, the rest of the roamers just went back upstairs, held the site, and didn't take any unnecessary risks.
I mean, you kind of negated Jackal's ability when you roam on only one half of the building, knowing full well that the easiest way to get in is going to be the opposite side. Now, since it was locked for them, Cocktail out of the question with Evil Geniuses, they'll go down to Fireplace Mining Hall, a train segment just to the bottom left in between the 2 sites.
Something interesting to note about Rogue's play so far on Kafe is that they've been mainly focused on that middle floor, which is counter to, I think, the primary mode of thinking for most teams. A lot of the time when you're even defending the middle floor, you're gonna roam very heavily upstairs. Rogue specifically did not do that. When they went into that middle floor defense, they roamed a little bit up on the top, but they fell extremely fast. They didn't try to waste too much time. They didn't try to get in too many fights. They just went back downstairs. They only roamed upstairs for the sake of putting up a facade of, hey, you have to spend some time clearing us. And that's kind of an interesting mentality when you don't see a whole lot on Kafe of just giving up the high ground.
So Rogue, all looking like they spawned together, will now begin to climb up towards the top of the roof. Both teams struggling with the off-site players really heavily, as you alluded to. That's something that I would imagine is not just helps the defense, but we'll find ourselves in another circumstance similar to yesterday, when the first team to win a successful attack can blow this wide open. Look no further than the final matchup between Evil Geniuses and FaZe. All it took was 1 attacking round victory, and that was it for the series.
Kind of interesting here, Evil Geniuses hasn't reinforced the top of red stairs, which, while they're playing a pretty passive top floor hold, is going to mean Rogue isn't going to need to use any hard destruction to get through that wall, which helps them out a lot. Despite this well set up mirror window to handle it, I still think you could have potentially wasted some utility there. NVK, though, known for his excellent shooting skill, is going to be fighting easily all the way inside of Piano, forcing him back without any second guesses. BC from below, C4 onto Eclipse. Good teamwork there between him and Canadian, coordinating with that heartbeat detector.
And that's one very potent fragger taken down. Slashug from top manages to see NVK as he pushes out a laundry room, but Canadian shreds him. And now Evil Geniuses has extended their operator lead to 2. Canadian sets down a Claymore at the top of red stairs, leading his team so that they don't have to worry as hard about flanks, even though it's been possible to take care of it. Some bucking from above will give us just about a minute left. As you can see, Rogue, now lacking a Ying, will have to figure out a different way inside of sight. You'll often see they will overwhelm with those Candelas and smokes and then make a quick push through. That is not an option now.
Rogue now going to have to rely on getting some picks via those holes from above. If they don't, when they go for the inevitable site push, they will likely see no success. Have to be very lucky and a good amount of negligence on Evil Genius' side for that to happen. As Evil Genius doesn't give away any angles right now or any picks, Rogue, with the last 30 seconds, are looking like they're going to have a struggle here. Canadian at the bottom of red stairs, heart beats onto Brian, calling that out for his team. Easily looking to drop into red hallway. Avian looking to drop into train. Here comes Easily. As he goes down with Brian. They know Canadian's downstairs, but they don't expect BC to the side. Avian's going to refrag. Brian gets one of his own. A 2-on-3 here. Rogue is starting to crawl back into this, but with only 9 seconds, Necrox gets Brian. Avian refrags onto Young, and NVK is going to finish it off. Avian goes down, and Evil Geniuses will win another defense, just a continuation of that trend.
The crowd trying to get a reluctant cheer going.
There we go.
That's better. Rogue will go back to defense. They have cocktail locked, so train, or rather the section around train that we call train, but Fireplace Mining Hall will likely be the site, and indeed, that's where they lock in right now. And it will likely be these two sites that the teams quarrel over and between.
Very important to note that this is Rogue's map pick. They definitely wanted to go to this map, and it's seen a bit of a struggle despite that fact. Evil Genius is just as lethal on this map as any other.
Let's talk about the map bans for a second here, because I think that this strongly favors Rogue. I'm very happy if this is the scenario that we have. Kafe is typically a very strong map for Rogue. We know this. They are one of the best teams, not just in NA, but possibly all of Pro League. They go up against Supremacy, who themselves, we've been told, are quite a phenomenal team on that map in EU. Clubhouse as second is a map that, despite it being strong for Evil Geniuses, we saw them lag behind on. They were challenged by 1UP at least once, and FaZe as well on that map, showing that they are mortal. They are absolutely beatable. If Kafe goes to Evil Geniuses, as I said before, I think that Rogue is in trouble, so it's imperative that they take this away. But if Kafe goes to Rogue, Clubhouse is probably one that EG could lose and find Rogue taking a 2-0. I think they got, right now, these bans, in my opinion, strongly favor Rogue, and that should be wind at their back.
On the other hand, the third map in the series, which is Consulate, I do feel like, knowing these players personally, that it will favor Evil Geniuses. A map that a lot of the Evil Geniuses guys have just, on a personal level, not just a strategic level, they really enjoy playing. It's something they're going to be looking forward to, I'm sure, if Evil Geniuses doesn't get that 2-0, which, as you said, isn't very likely, given that these first two maps slightly in favor of Rogue. Now, that said, these two teams do really know each other inside and out, as you stated as the match started. So, while I think this is a ban phase in favor of Rogue, it can only be ever so slightly, and I don't think it's going to matter too much in the long run, certainly not in the match overall, given that they both know each other so well.
Slash positioned on one of the landings of White Stairs, has an ADS at his disposal to shoot any of those projectiles through the air before they get to him. You see one frag grenade goes. It did sound like it detonated just a touch too early, so it won't burn any of that ADS. BC will now throw a grenade up and discover that there is indeed an active defense system there.
Wouldn't have really mattered. There's nobody standing on the White Stairs anymore, and Evil Geniuses has spent a lot of time and utility trying to clear out that roam. They've done it successfully, and they are going to start using this top floor control to their advantage. Now, last time they had this, they had a good amount of pressure being put downstairs, but couldn't get a single pick as a result. So that's going to be the thing they aim to change this time, or at least Evil Geniuses as compared to Rogue.
Now have to speed things up, and even doubly so, as Canadian is the first casualty. The IGL and captain of Evil Geniuses falls to Slashug's carbine of the Jaeger. You've lost your sledge. He'd already used one frag grenade, but still had that soft destruction from above. That could be quite handy, especially in applying consistent pressure after getting down to the site. But BC eliminating Avian. That's your castle. His gadget's already down. Most pressingly is that Pulse still on the move. Right now playing just outside of Bakery by the main corridor. Downstairs is spotted on a drone and gets pushed easily. What a read, and Young falls. But Slash and Brian adding to that. EG right now relying solely on Necrox, who manages to eliminate the Pulse. Brian seals the deal. The defense right now, 5 consecutive rounds. Rogue once again regains the lead.
Defense, defense, defense. Continuing that trend. Never ending seemingly on Kafe. Now, because none of these teams are going to have to defend the bottom floor, that'll probably just continue to be the trend, and we might see OT just favor the team that gets, you guessed it, that defense first. Or the team that breaks the trend as per usual and wins an attack will put themselves in a landslide position and win the map out. Bar Cocktail Lounge, the defense now for EG. They are likely to defend it similar to how they did last time. I really like the way they do it too, pushing all the way back, not trying to overextend themselves. They use the bathroom and the rotation in said bathroom, but the way that they do the main freezer, that doesn't really play too much for Rogue.
Everybody on Rogue right now firing on all cylinders. This was before the rehost, and now extending into it as the scoreboard that you see before you does not
fully represent.
Correct. It doesn't have every single person's kills on it, just from the rehost itself. Now here's something interesting. We're going to see a Capitao and a Glass get brought out. Last time around, it was a Ying that was brought along with an Ash. In this case, they've been traded off. They're going to go with what appears to be a very heavy smoke push, using that Twitch to get the mirrors out, fire arrows to dislodge them, and then a drop either through that red hatch and a push inside. I'd imagine that's how they're going to aim to get that diffuser down.
Great thing about the Capitao smokes is they detonate on impact, so you can do a lot of creative things with them. For example, you can smoke on the skylight itself, so when you drop, there is no visual cue to the defenders. They won't know about it. No other smoke is really capable of doing that in this particular situation, so you can highlight it right there. You can put it on the skylight as you drop down. Another thing you can do is you can put them directly on mirror windows, which means no matter what, if somebody's playing near one of the mirror windows, if you're unable to disable them, then they won't have much visual at all. So, Brian going to be a very important operator in this attack, depending on how Rogue chooses to go about it.
We have Avian with the diffuser duty yet again. I would argue that right now you're relying a lot on easily to be able to take care of those mirrors and then Brian to follow through. You lose one of those two and your job gets a lot more difficult. The saving grace is that slash on that Glass will have smokes himself. So even if you do lose the Capitao, which would be seriously detrimental to your chances on attack, you would have Glass being able to cover it and see through, as we've seen many, many times so far over the last couple days. Drop through red hatch, move inside of Cigar Shop, look towards Piano, easily eliminating NVK. That roamer, he's not going to get the best of him this time. It was NVK taking easily down before. They'll trade back this time.
Not exactly sure where NVK died, but it's definitely counter to what he was doing last time. Looks like, yeah, deep inside of reading. So that's easily actually pushing into the building. Brian takes Necrox down from the skylight. That's not supposed to happen, as Necrox seems to have neglected a very common angle. Bandit, that's Canadian, playing inside a bathroom, just looking to hold fast, but it's a very strong man advantage for Rogue. Here comes the smokes. And as they go down, Glass going to look through them, look for those kills. Sees one, gets the one tap, Slash Hug. Gets Canadian, a nice shot from him. Can he get the second one tap? Slash Hug, you're insane. One more to find, that's Young, and Brian will eliminate him.
Very first attacking round win. Rogue extends their lead. That was very, very well practiced, and Slash leading by example. That was 2 shots and 2 kills. A beautiful flick from him.
And now we have match point because the very first successful attack on this map. Very well done from Rogue, and this again is what we're expecting to happen. So you have to remember that Evil Geniuses aren't exactly playing poorly. It's just Rogue who know what they're getting themselves into on this map. Now, as the operator selection comes out, Rogue is going to be able to defend the top floor. It's likely the site that they prefer to the middle floor. The only reason I'm guessing that they went to that middle floor first was just to try and trip up EG in some minor way.
Loading new magazine.
Brian going to be opening up some holes over by the red hallway as well as the red drop down. Now what that means is any roamer who has a C4 or even a gas canister from below will be able to throw it up into the doorway of Cigar. It's a very important spot to have. And if you're not even going to utilize it, it still makes Evil Geniuses think about that spot.
A question for you.
10 seconds remaining.
EG has ran with virtually the exact same composition every single time they have attacked either side. The only difference, they subbed out a Twitch for a Sledge. It's not really working. Their attacks haven't really borne any fruit at all. Why no change?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. There is little to no disruption on Evil Geniuses. They have a set of smokes from NVK. Other than that, none at all, unless you count breaking mirror windows thanks to the Twitch drone from Canadian. BC gonna get Eclipse though, and I'm not okay. That looks like, it was through the drone hole. Wow. I have to, yeah, it was through the drone hole there at the top of the white garage. Good angle there from BC, and probably a little bit of patience, although we didn't get to see it. So that's Eclipse is a very important player down. But yeah, not enough disruption, I would say, on Evil Geniuses. I mean, we saw just the round prior, the very first attack that was successful on this entire map. Rogue bring tons of disruption, and still how that worked out for them. Slashrock gonna get the kill on NPK with a nice knife, but he's gonna get refragged. Necrox not letting his teammate go unavenged.
So they've taken 2 down, both roamers. You've once again facing down the 3 anchor players. These were the same 3 that Evil Geniuses had to deal with last time. Only difference is EG has double the numbers. Still, very potent abilities to prevent you from getting inside of the site. You have area denial, you have the actual just raw killing potential of Amira through that C4, and then the disruption, as we can call it, of the yokai drone. Canadian does get disoriented, he'll dive outside and a rotate. Have killed about half of the time right now, and BC a masterful shot through the floor. Easily had opened that one up last time, used it to his advantage, but EG takes it away from them. There's only 2 members of Rogue left.
Avian gonna be on those white stairs looking for BC. He only needs to back up 2 feet and he'll go down. But no, just a little bit of damage onto the lower torso. And Avian unable to secure that kill. BC now gonna be conscious of the angle. He's peeking into it. Doing a little bit of a double play here from BC. He's doing everything. On the east windows, you're gonna see Canadian. He's looking to fight onto Brian. We'll light him up, put him on low HP. That's very dangerous for Rogue.
They do pop one of the Miras. Avian pushing off of White Stairs will now go inside of Cigar Lounge to welcome the Thatcher of Young and behead him. Diffuser goes down, so EG can rest a little bit better, but still don't know what they'll have against them. Necrox, his 2nd kill of the round. That is the bird down. Ryan just needs to patiently wait. Unsure if there's still one on Rappel guarding the cocktail windows. There's one at Skylight that we know of. On drone right now, it's the Twitch of Canadian. And he waits. Brian sees Necrox. 3 kills for Necrox on the round. EG stays alive and Rogue remains on match point.
So now we have seen 2 successful attacks, and Rogue is going to be thrust onto attack now themselves to try and deny that overtime. But it looks like Evil Geniuses are poised to take it all the way to that OT. They don't want to give up on Kafe just yet. Definitely not the match that I think Rogue was expecting going on to Kafe. Probably a lot more one-sided, but there's still potential for them to win it.
A very good challenge so far onto a map that Rogue is very comfortable on.
You know, historically, if you look further back, like 4 or 5 seasons ago, the Rogue, they were called something different back then, but Rogue were extremely uncomfortable on Kafe. It actually took, I believe, you know what the real change was probably their coach, Ranger. Once he got brought onto the team, I think he was able to bring a lot of new strategies and ideas and a whole new dynamic to their overall squad. So props to Ranger for putting in a lot of work there.
He's been heralded as one of the most successful and hardest working coaches. Of course, Rogue's success has been overshadowed by Evil Geniuses. That's part of what makes this match so exciting, is while the crowd is overwhelmingly in favor of EG, Rogue has always been the one to not benefit from that same, I guess, appreciation. So always a good storyline behind it. And of course, one of Redemption 2. For those in the audience or those watching that don't know, this is a rematch.
A long time rematch.
A long time rematch.
You know, these are some of the oldest players in all of North America, and I'm not talking about one team or another. I mean, all of these players are some of the oldest ones. Brian and Easley specifically, I think, is the only one who hasn't been on the PC side since like the very beginning. Possibly Brian as well, but other than that, everyone here has been going at it for a long, long time.
Opening the top of Red Hatch and drones going in 30 seconds off of the clock. Round number 6. Match point still for Rogue. Evil Geniuses will either lose or tie it up and send us to overtime. So far, with the 6 rounds, 4 in favor of defense, 2, or rather 8 rounds. 6 rounds, no, 7 rounds. My apologies, I can't count.
You know, in terms of mentality, and I'm not talking about the potential for teams to beat each other, this is reminiscent a little bit of Penta versus Ents, just in the way that these teams are seen within their own regions. Now again, that doesn't mean that one team is going to beat out the other definitively, given that stance. It just means that's how a lot of people see these guys.
Not scrim partners the same way, though.
No, not quite.
Not quite at all. So, Bad Blood aside, half of the round over. Some changes for Evil Geniuses as well. We haven't had a chance to really speak on this. Young, who looked so good on Legion yesterday, will run him this time around, and Canadian onto a Vigil. For Rogue, they've taken that Glaz and done away with it, same as Capitao. They're just going to bring the Ying. You've seen there was a run out there that will distract the attention of Rogue, and easily is dispatched now to try and hunt them down.
It's kind of an interesting choice from Rogue to mix up their lineup, considering it worked that one time. I would have expected them to continue to try and hammer that out, but I'm guessing that's probably, again, due to their coach of Ranger, who's just going to be like, okay, we have all these set strats, let's use the right one for the job, and once we use one and it works, let's not go back to it. Easily missing a couple important shots there. That's going to leave NVK with a sliver of HP left, but as an Ella, he definitely has a lot of potential to wreak havoc.
Drone activated.
Smoke will go down, and that will pause them from pushing through the doorway of Cigar inside of the main area of the third floor on Cafe. They'll buck away at the windows, or rather just knock them open themselves, as Easily takes to the top. And it's 30 seconds left. Your push is going to have to come very quickly. There's still a little hesitation on behalf of Rogue. Calls go out, and there go the smokes. 2 smokes, 2 Candelas, another Toxic Babe goes down. Slash dives right in. He'll just sprint inside of the freezer. He sees the smoke, takes out Necrox. He's caught with his back against the wall, easily eliminating NVK. And right now, strong advantage in favor of Rogue. Canadian, though, eliminates Avian just after he gets that diffuser down. And Eclipse eliminating Canadian means that Rogue poised to be able to take this and push us to map number 2 on Clubhouse. Slash sits inside a freezer. BC down. Young is the last one left. He gets Slash, but 3 more. Eclipse finishes it off. Rogue takes map number 1. We'll head to Clubhouse.
Slash very proud of himself, rightfully so. Well done, Slash, with a nice push into Freezer, completely defanging the defense of Evil Geniuses. If it weren't for that well-calculated smoke in Candela, it's likely that we would have seen Rogue completely stall out. And that's obviously something that they planned on, they were relying on. Slashug has been having a fantastic job on Ying in this tournament throughout the group stages as well as the quarters.
This is the best Rogue team that we have seen so far ever. Better than any Era team previously, better than any Rogue team before it, or any other names that they have opted to use. And it showed. Their 2 last attacks on Cafe were masterful. They executed them well. They were able to get inside, take a couple really important frags, and then push. There was no counter whatsoever to that Ying dropping through Skylight, and it's not every day that you see a Ying be able to pull that off without getting obliterated by a C4 or caught in a crossfire.
I feel like we've talked about this a bit, but you know, it's definitely worth noting that this is going to come down a lot to that ban phase, which Rogue seemingly is dominating on. I mean, have dominated on. Cafe of all maps, really. I would have expected Evil Geniuses to ban that out. They banned Skyscraper, Bank, and Chalet, which I understand. Chalet, a map that almost nobody favors right now. Bank, a map that kind of questionable, I think, because Evil Geniuses has played on that in the past and seemed fairly comfortable. Skyscraper, I also understand, is that is a map that Rogue is pretty proficient at.
I find it very interesting that the first 2 bans from Evil Geniuses were 2 of the 3 maps they played against FaZe yesterday. Troy, sitting down at the analyst desk after the actual match, said that they believes he's only ever lost once on Bank in an official match, and that was yesterday. Why wouldn't you roll the die and potentially go with Bank and ban out a Clubhouse, or ban out a Cafe, so that you can play your Clubhouse, but then also play Bank too, unless there's something about Rogue on Bank that they worry over. Maybe that, or it could have just been a reflexive ban because they know that these are our 2 most recently played maps. We're worried about being vulnerable. Let's just take care of them and go with others.
Given the mentality of Evil Geniuses, I'm almost certainly it's the last one there, because they don't like the ability to be counter-stratted in the middle of a tournament. They've used a lot of their maps, and they've given away a lot of their tricks, and I feel like Rogue would definitely be the sort of team that would capitalize upon it. Find the VOD and study it hard in the very limited time they have between matches, but they would certainly make it an attempt. So, map number 2 is going to be Clubhouse. This is the first map going in favor of Rogue on Cafe. The third map, if we should get to it, will be Consulate, but this seems to favor Rogue ever so slightly, so Evil Geniuses is going to have to fight against the tide to make it as far as map number 3.
It's interesting that you'd note that they might not pick a map that there's a lot of footage on them on, because as it stands right now, the 3 maps that Evil Geniuses have played the most would be Oregon, Border, and then Clubhouse. They have looked a bit vulnerable. Oregon was a map that they have had very poor fortune on recently, and banning it out makes a lot of sense.
I did say that they, you know, Evil Geniuses, I think, decisively lost that ban phase.
Yes.
I think they're really in a bad spot right now. I'm hoping they prove me wrong on Clubhouse, because I do very much want to see map number 3, if for nothing else, more competition. But risky business, that's for sure.
5 seconds left.
Eclipse taking a blitz. If I recall correctly, this is something that we've seen from Rogue a couple times as recently as yesterday. They're comfortable with it. I know that they've been experimenting with a blitz strat independent of a Ying and a Glass. You can see right now, in the top left corner, that there are neither of those 2 operators. So they can make blitz work on its own. Usually what they would do is have Eclipse walk in through Dirt Tunnel, usually with the aid of either a Zofia or a Thermite, and just be able to pinch them.
Now here's the thing, oftentimes Blitz will get thrown into the category of disruption and put into that whole Ying-Laz circle, which makes a lot of sense, to be honest. It's very good at that. BC gonna take a couple bullets through the front door, just a random spray there from Brian. Could have been called out maybe on a drone, but it just looked like, oh wow, BC's actually gonna win that fight. Despite the lack of HP, Brian will go down. Nice headshot there, and from behind, up in cash, NVK gets the blitz of Eclipse.
What roam are we seeing right now? EG having 2 firmly off site. This is unheard of on Clubhouse. NVK will smartly rotate, and now he'll have control of the main stairwell too.
You know, honestly, that is all on Rogue that they lost those fights. They didn't drone out the basic spots, and that is just negligence. You cannot expect, despite how common it is, for every single defender to be in the basement. You have to be sure. And now you can see with only half the round left, they're going to start droning out those spots where I believe almost all of Evil Geniuses has just fallen back to sight.
For a moment there, it appeared that the Thermite of Easily was going to push the LS sitting on stairs. Now they'll drone Dirt Tunnel. They will discover a wild smoke. Necrox sitting at the elbow of Dirt Tunnel. As most smokes would do, some teams will put a Jaeger in there as well, or at least an ADS available so that they can't be pressured. Easily, though, attacking onto the soft southern wall of Arsenal. There's one playing, and that sounds to me to be the Jaeger up top over bomb site B. Hit a good angle, but Easily's gonna get hit from 2 separate ones, and Canadian takes him down. Jaeger no ACOG, but it doesn't matter. He still makes that shot at length work. It's going to put a lot of pressure on to Slash, who is in a similar position to Easily. It's just him and Avian left. And now you can see it's going to be Slash taking some more fire. Canadian up there, a literal trade as fair as it gets. Slash and NVK off, and Avian now has possession over Blue Tunnel, will march his way down. But right now, Evil Genius all over them. 3 kills from Canadian. They take the lead. And that's the first lead of Evil Geniuses so far this series.
Pretty decisive win there from EG. It all comes down to, again, the negligence of Rogue, not droning out those top floors. That's the sort of thing you do on Clubhouse basement defense before you enter the building. You have to be sure. And they'll lose a round because they were not. Although the audacity of EG also has to be stated. I mean, going for that roam, it's just, you just don't do that, right? But BC and NVK making it work so well for them.
Here's what happens, though. Rogue doesn't effectively drone. There's a bit of hubris, decides to rush right in, assuming, oh, there's no roamers. We can take all of this area to ourselves. Your very first push, you get attacked by roamers. What happens from now? You have to drone extensively every single round. That is EG not only winning a round, but also setting themselves up to have better time management, forcing Rogue to commit more resources to finding people who may be off-site every single successive defense of the bottom floor.
It probably was just the case that Rogue is so used to, given that their deep understanding of Evil Geniuses, they're so used to EG never roaming on basement Clubhouse defense, just not doing that. They're not the sort of team that goes for that sort of thing, not very often anyway. And yeah, just overlooking it. But that's only one round. Now we have the second here on Clubhouse. We're having a pretty basic setup from both teams. We have a Glaz on the side of Evil Geniuses from Necrox. No backup smokes though, so if his 2 should not be useful, then the Operator won't be the best pick in the world. You'd expect more disruption along with the Glaz. I mean, you always do, right? It's not quite a blitz.
Necrox very comfortable on that role though.
Yeah.
We've seen him run it on Clubhouse a lot. Glaz is not an operator who fits into EG's plans every map. It's more situational for them. We'll see some teams who will run a Glaz no matter what. A team such as Black Dragon seems to fit that mold. They will run a Glaz on more maps than they won't. For EG, it's about operator picks. We see that you commented on it. No Ash, well, NVK is going to be using that operator. And some swaps already. BC, of course, will only be playing operators that have frag grenades because he can almost reliably guarantee a kill onto the enemy and likely one onto his team every single map as well.
You know, you make one misplay and get one TK with a grenade and it sticks with you forever. BC going to be using that IQ gadget to see Pulse through the floor. Lights up Avian, but doesn't get the kill. Avian now going to be much more cautious using his heartbeat detector, that's for sure. No roamers from Rogue, and the C4 from Avian will completely miss. But actually, no, that was not a miss. That got the Hibana charge, which was on the kitchen drop down. So now we're going to have to see Evil Geniuses use another or just avoid that drop, which is, I think we've seen Young use all of his Hibanas already. So that's just one drop, yeah, that will not be opened for Evil Geniuses.
Canadian sees the LMI, but he'll get pushed and taken from behind as Slush able to get Canadian as he retreats. He falls on the stairs. Not really sure why he pushed there, given that he saw the LMI thrown right in front of him. Easily makes quick work of NVK. And Evil Geniuses down by 2. Rogue in the moment in very good position. They see the Glaz pushing down through the tunnel in Garage, waiting for him to be able to get up, but he's all by his lonesome at the moment. And they have firm control over site as one drops Moto. About to work their way inside, but Necrox manages to take some pressure off as Slash gets removed from the equation. They still trail by 1. BC pushes right in and easily there. Evil Genius is likely not expecting that many bodies to be inside of Church itself. Another smoke will now go down, easily waiting just below head level to take out the Hibana, but Young wins the duel, and inside of the corner now can start to get the defuse down. We'll have to do so inside of the corpse of Easily as Necrox
Attackers are activating the diffuser.
Moved from this map. Or match just a second earlier. Eclipse eliminates Young. Rogue answers back. They will take the round. A very strong hold. And the whole point where it started to snowball was Avian C4 that completely forced EG to have to move their strats around. And they just couldn't recover. Excellent job by Rogue.
Any strategy that Evil Geniuses had to do with the kitchen was completely defunct by that C4. And usually you'll see an impact grenade used to do that instead because you could just do it right next to the drop. But it seems like they're going to go full committing to that C4. Either way, as long as you can deny the drop being opened up, it really doesn't matter. That might actually, in the future, force Evil Geniuses to bring a Thermite as well as a Hibana, because they cannot risk not getting that drop open in another attack. Now, EG, they are going to have to defend the bar stock room, which is not nearly as comfortable as the basement. So they're going to have to get some pretty creative strats going here in order to win this hole.
Interestingly enough, both of these teams wanted to face each other.
Yep.
Speaking to them before yesterday's matches, EG wanted Rogue to win and Rogue wanted EG to win, because this was the rematch from the previous Invitational Finals. These two teams really do not always care for each other. And that kind of rivalry is good for the game, it's good for us, it leads to a great viewing experience, and we couldn't have asked so far for a more even contest. Even though Kafe was in Rogue's advantage, it was still very close, and right now, Clubhouse is tied up with EG possibly facing the prospect of trailing, given how vulnerable they can be on this side.
You know, you say that these two teams don't really like each other, and I agree. I think on the outside, it definitely looks like that. But there's a bit of a sense of camaraderie between the two teams, given that they have so much extensive experience with each other. It's something you can't really ignore, you know? I mean, they've been up against each other for a long time. Historically, Evil Geniuses have been the team to come out on top. But this is a very reformed Rogue. Again, the addition of Ranger as a coach and Brian and Easily brought on to replace a couple people. They look a lot stronger than they used to. I think, as you stated earlier, the strongest Rogue we have ever seen, no matter the iteration or the team or anything like that.
Unequivocally.
Yeah.
It just seems like they've reached another level, and they'll continue to get better. Easily the newest addition. He's been a strong presence on the team, not just as a team member, but also as a leader. Slash will do primary IGLing duties, but Easily experience can lend itself to that team and help them out in a pinch.
He's also just a really chill guy, Easily. He's really relaxed, really laid back. Good mentality bringing to the team. But Evil Geniuses have the same sort of thing going. You know, this is a team that really enjoy each other's company. Their coach, their new coach of Bacon, is also very good at bringing a good mentality to the squad and keeping everyone focused, determined on winning. So, as we stated earlier, 2 Titans, surely. And I honestly think that we're going to get to map number 3. I hope we do. I just want to see these guys play against each other more.
Now in the first minute, complete control of Strip, and then up by the pool table, conceded to Rogue. But since being able to open up that wall with the thermite charge, they haven't been able to make much else happen, because they have not put enough pressure to clear out weight room above. Because in fact, it was FaZe who was able to make as quick of a push, but left Young unattended up top, who in a cascade was able to help lead the team. Brian pushes in and sees the leg of one defender, goes for the pulse, and inexplicably missing a lot of shots before finishing off. Canadian easily drops Young, and they've now managed to clear weight room, but NVK pushes up 2 from NVK. Easily an Avian down. That is not the diffuser. Still in the hands of Slash, but NVK gets 3. He'll get pushed from above. It's Eclipse getting towards him. He'll need to reload, and Eclipse wins that fight with only 2 bullets left in the magazine. Still 2 left, and for the defenders, it just so happens to be a smoke and an echo. Lots of fragging potential from both sides.
An absolutely dominant round from Rogue, but then NVK still inside of Jim, bringing it back and putting Rogue now on a 2-on-2 with only 20 seconds. It doesn't look very good for them as Slashug pushes in through the strip hallway and Eclipse outside the front door attempting to pressure the defender far back in B. Inside of Kitchen Hall, that's the Echo. He's gonna go for the peek and win the fight. BC gets Eclipse. He only needs to find one more. He whips onto the drone, disorients Slashug, and will win that fight. Great play from BC. But more importantly, NVK in that gym earlier in the round. What a great job from him.
If somebody shuts NVK down or trades him off at that exact point, Rogue easily wins that round. I don't even know the amount of times that we have seen NVK just manage to snatch rounds that don't seem to be going his team's way away from their opponents.
You gotta say though, the negligence on Rogue, again. Not droning out the roamers on the basement defense from EG, and then not expecting someone to be playing in Master Gym, let alone NVK on Ella. I mean, that's some steps skipped there from Rogue.
I think they just expected it to be Young up there. Young was playing in the weight room. They took him down. They figured, okay, there's not going to be a second up here. Well, you can figure all you want, but if you don't have the information handy, it's not going to do you much good. NVK playing one of the few operators that could prevail in that situation. So a bar stock as well now for Rogue. They are going to put a lot of, I guess, pressure themselves onto Strip at the exterior of Strip and open up that wall that EG had decided to close up before by the pool table.
So while that previous round definitely looked in favor of Rogue until an exceptional play from NVK turned it around, now Rogue is going to be looking for the same thing from their players. I mean, this is a bomb site again that is not very easy to defend, and that's going to put pressure on each and every one of the members of Rogue to do something exceptional. Strip hold is going to be happening here for Rogue. Avian playing inside there. Lots of smoke on the Evil Geniuses side. They've got a Capital and a Glaz, so it's likely to be a Disruption Plant strategy here. The question is, are they going to be going for stock or are they going to be going for pool table? There's a lot of options in their way, but Evil Genius is not making the mistake that Rogue made, and they will be droning out that top floor over by Cash. Noticing the Ella of Easily. That's going to be, I think, a pretty big focus for them moving forward in the round. If they can cut off his rotation, which would be pretty difficult given the rotation hole at the top of the stairs, they might be able to get themselves a man advantage early.
Those glass shots onto the destructible wall will push Easily out of the area. It was the buck of Canadian above waiting to see where he would run to. You have a couple options. You can either wait patiently and hope that the Ella will come underneath and take her out, or you can make her use one of those frag grenades. Doesn't do much good. Slash, the Jaeger pulls out his pistol and gets a kill on a BC's Thermite. You lost your Thermite. That is not great, but Canadian waits for Easley's rotate. Good coordination from him and Necrox to pinch that roamer of Rogue. You still have Avian, though, from above. He's just inside of the bathroom next to master bedroom. Deploying a drone. And at any moment, he can bother to come back down. Though, of course, if he is, as he is a bandit, no real ability to rotate whatsoever. Necrox by the doorway of stock, exactly where a Glaz should be, but he has nobody there with him. My apologies, he actually has a Capitao there with him. Young, who has found his way over, now also holds the diffuser. He'll just wait.
Here comes the smoke cover in just a moment. Young gonna try and get the barbed wire first. He's gonna ask his teammate of Necrox to lay down the smoke instead. Canadian nading onto the front door just to hold off those defenders. Deny that retake, and here comes the plant. Under cover of smoke, there's not much that Rogue can do really. A double rotate though over by Cash. Canadian's ready for this. He will lose the fight, however. Slashrock with a nice headshot there. Fuse plant could potentially still be going down, but no, they faked it. Oh no, it's the Echo drone has been denying them the plant this whole time. And NVK gets two. Slash and Avian go down. NVK stepping up huge for his team as Young goes for the defuse plant in front of the shelving unit. NVK gets a third. Brian goes down and Necrox finishes Eclipse all the way on pool table. 3-1 in favor of EG.
A beautiful shot. The crowd has woken up, and EG already stretching their lead. Now available for EG as they were successful on bar stock. They'll go downstairs to Church Arsenal, where they had prevailed last time, largely off of the back of a very peculiar and out-of-place roam up top. Able to come in and, I guess, surprise Rogue.
The simple fact that Evil Geniuses was able to successfully defend a bar and then deny that successful defense to Rogue on this very same site means that they have a commanding lead here. It is not only a 3-1 in terms of score lead, it's also the fact that the dominance in terms of site is so heavily favored on Evil Genius's side. So now they're gonna get to defend the basement, which should put them on match point if conventional knowledge persists. Which is gonna put Rogue in a really tricky spot.
Before insertion.
Take a look at how lopsided Evil Genius's scoreboard stands at the moment. 8 kills for NVK.
Jeez.
That round started to go sideways. Who was there to catch his team as they fell?
NVK.
It was NVK.
An absolute nut, widely considered one of the top players in North America, definitely one of the top fraggers in all of the world. And he's definitely, he's highlighting that right now here.
Both Eclipse and NVK play similar style roles on both teams, and their prowess on attack as well as defense is quite formidable. Third tunnel wall blows as Thermite manages to open it up. Necrox playing in the elbow, same as before, but you can already tell that there's 3 that will pressure him. One drone is fed to Necrox. Slash's drone looks to be able to get out of the way. He'll throw one of those toxic babes out as they push.
Necrox is notoriously proficient at holding this construction tunnel, and you'd think Rogue would know that. I understand the decision to bring a blitz to push this down, but against anyone else it would make sense. Against Necrox, you're gonna have a tough time, especially with the support of Young just from behind. Flashshot going for that shot, going to miss. Fortunately, he's actually gonna get lit up. It will be an even exchange of HP, but those toxic babes are now completely extinguished. There are no more, which means Eclipse has actually done a very good job of dealing with that utility.
You've made it so that there is no final minute area of denial, similar to what you would see from either an Echo or a Smoke. They're gonna use the last remaining exothermic charge to get the hatch inside of Kitchen, and now push unabated as Easily punishes Necrox from above. The Smoke, whose gas canisters were all gone, fell from just below the Kitchen hatch.
See some Ella Gersmont mines going on to the end of construction tunnel there. NVK trying to hold this fast where his teammate failed. But there's only a minute for Rogue, and they're going to be pressured for time when they go for this push. Avian laying down some lifelines into blue. That's going to give him a lot of presence. He's going to go and follow that up with a push later. Eclipse goes down to Young, shooting the hand and then the head. Canadian gets a second as Slash goes down. Rogue are looking pretty bad right now. BC gets Brian, Avian refrags, but it's not enough as BC gets the bird. Easily the last attacker left alive on the kitchen dropdown. And he's just going to be waiting. 30 seconds, plenty of time here for Easily to work, but I seriously doubt Evil Geniuses will give anything away as they know they have diffuser control inside of blue. Here comes the drop and the death. Young finishes off the last attacker of Easily, and they will win, put it on to 4-1.
Match point already. Kafe, very much a back and forth exercise between the two teams. A couple key moments for Evil Geniuses has blown this wide open in their favor. However, the daunting task of having to attack basement. They were successful, if I recall, last time around. Or my apologies, no, Rogue actually won that one. So
remember,
successful on bar.
Remember we were saying that Clubhouse might favor Rogue? We actually, that was a completely misspoke. It was, we were talking about Evil Geniuses.
Of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and backtrack on that one.
The rest of the team waking up. NVK, who started off so strong, went killless for the first time this game. The rest of the team there to carry the weight. So Rogue coming off a hot performance on Kafe, a little bit weaker on Clubhouse. Still an opportunity for them to come back. They'll need to tighten it up.
Crowd trying to give support to Evil Geniuses, their team, for sure.
10 seconds to insertion.
An opportunity now potentially for Rogue to go with the strategy that we saw employed from Evil Geniuses, which is do something that you're not expecting, or they're not expecting you to do. We will all largely spawn together over by construction site and pressure in, or rush in towards the building.
I mean, the question is, do Rogue really need to, go for that roam game? And they could, but they were so successful when they just held in the site. Evil Geniuses take their time when they're clearing upstairs, which puts a lot of pressure on them in the later half of the round. And as Slashug gets Canadian, there you go, there's that roam being successful for Rogue. I don't think they're going to try and get any more. So I like what Slashug did here. It's a very predictable spot that Canadian was sitting in behind those boxes, and I believe they are penetrable. If nothing else, there's the little gap in between the boxes which gives you visual cue. So Slashug just spraying those boxes, getting the kill, and that's what you get, I guess, for sitting in a predictable spot. That's the sort of study that Rogue puts into this game. We talked about how Evil Geniuses is one of the hardest working teams in the entire game. Rogue is right up there with them.
Last time that EG pushed onto this site, the biggest point of success for Rogue was tossing that C4 up and depriving EG of taking Kitchen Hatch. That won't be happening this time. Now they've been able to get control of that hatch, and also Dirt Tunnel as Young on Blitz starts to push it. You see one blue mine go out. He gets it and just sits completely still, waits for the Ella to retreat, reloads and goes in. He'll take out one of the Ella mines, and he is very quickly taking a lot of control away from Rogue. Now, when Rogue did this last round, EG was ready to deal with it.
Located a bomb.
Yeah, and it looks like it's not working too well for Rogue so far, but they've lost construction tunnel control. However, they still have gas canisters, and there's only going to be one expended so far from Brian. So a much more efficient hold of the construction tunnel, despite losing the actual control a lot faster. Easy kill there for BC on to Slashug. That's a very important pick. Forgetting about those angles, Slashug going to be kicking himself for that.
Now the hardest part of the job, getting out of Dirt Tunnel alive or without losing too much. NVK doesn't do so successfully. He was also holding Diffuser, so that goes down, but Young did. Now he'll go inside of Moto, put some pressure on the smoke of Brian, who wisely retreats. Eclipse eliminating BC as Necrox takes out the smoke. Avian guns down Young, and Rogue with a great rally right now. That's going to leave just the Hibana of Necrox to clutch the situation, or EG will return to defense. Looking very good for Rogue at the moment as Necrox down to very little health. He'll see the Bandit peek around the corner inside of blue. I'm just running out of time. Only 15 seconds, and Avian makes that An easy shot. Rogue keeps themselves alive.
Now, while they managed to win a successful defense of the basement, hey, Emzo, it isn't enough, I think, on Clubhouse to pull you out of a ditch like this. 4-2, I mean, now that EG get to go back to defense, they're probably going to have a pretty good round themselves, and we'll likely see Consulate as a result. It is going to be the bar stock room, though, and they haven't lost this yet, but the round that they managed to win was definitely due to one particular player, NVK, stepping up and getting a 3K.
We'll have to reflect on the defense that they used on that site and possibly change it around, because you cannot rely on one person to get 2 enormous kills to keep the round going when you face a deficit like they did.
Another thing is Rogue will, without a doubt, have to defend the bar and stock room before they get to OT. So no matter what, they're going to have to do something they've never done before in order to get that second chance here on this map. Evil Geniuses, though, their turn to set up on this site, and they are going to include Strip in their hold. There's 2 mentalities. You can either let that go, or you can try and hold on to it. I think the hold on to it mentality is a lot more prevalent in this current meta.
One thing that EG did last time was use their reinforcements on the wall just by billiards, just by pool table. They have not done that this time. They've decided to use it on the exterior of the strip club itself. The attackers use their valuable resources, limited resources rather, to get inside unless they funnel through one of the more narrow doorways.
Avian and Slashug coming from the dockyards. I'm going to be droning into Strip. This is very clearly a Strip take from Rogue, just based on their spots. There's always potential to adjust, though, on a bar stock take. Being a site that is so lopsided, you either commit to one or the other. You have to choose when you want to rotate. It takes about 20, 30 seconds every time.
Bar stock was where they went last time. If you cannot assuredly control weight room, then there is no real point in going this way. He'll manage to take out the northern wall of Strip. There is no pressure whatsoever applied on a potential run out. They don't have a bandit or a mute, so there was no real way for that to be stopped. But you've now used a minute to open up one wall. Last time around, Rogue had opened up the wall by the pool table much faster, so you've already slowed them down on getting into the building.
There are 2 EG players and a yokai inside of Strip, and they're going to be contesting Slashug just outside the destroyed panel. A run out from Canadian will eliminate Slash. Good timing there to catch him in the reload, but Avian there with the refrag. Going to put it onto an even man count. Looks like NVK has fallen back to the site, possibly looking for a reset in lounge from his teammate Necrox. And yeah, that's exactly what they'll be doing at the top of the cache stairs. Eclipse eliminates Young, and now Rogue in commanding lead here, as the reset only just comes out for Evil Geniuses. They're going to have to rotate, though, a little bit more important, all the way over to Pool, which is still where the Rogue attack is focused.
Easily is sitting inside of weight room. Diffuser is down as well. So that's a communication and coordination that Rogue will have to figure out if they want to be able to try to get inside a site, unless they just go frag hunting. As well, EG will not be able to take control of Master unless one of them challenges, which right now could potentially be NVK as he sits on the stairs. Avian goes outside, grabs the diffuser, and will come back in. Took about 20 seconds or so. You'll have a Blackbeard and a Glaz playing on the western wall by the pool table. Still some drones available for them too. Easily, just up top, is going to be a big factor in ensuring that nobody from EG can get too close, as that hatch has now been taken away from them. It does appear, though, that they themselves are rotating. There's a yokai drone in place. Avian sees it, but BC very smartly changes its location. Asphyxiating bolts go down, and Eclipse will now shoot out another smoke and look to hop right in. They've lost the yokai, so the actual Echo will have to go and take the fight himself. Brian sees him. Necrox takes down Eclipse. Diffuser successful. With that wall soft, they're able to get behind it. They're sitting inside of Strip. Necrox sees the smoke, waiting to see if anybody's going to challenge. Easily has been upstairs for about half of the round now. Just waiting to see NVK, and he'll see the backpack of the Ella, but he's just waiting. NVK now will have to deal with a Blackbeard and a Glaz as Necrox goes for an alternate angle. That Scorpion will tear through the rifle shield, but NVK downed and finished off. Necrox, 2 for Necrox. It's easily, can he get the defuse in time? No, he cannot. It's all over for this round. Rogue will hold on. Too little, too late, easily just sat upstairs waiting. EG wasn't able to do much about that. No capitalization. Rogue takes the round.
But here is the moment of truth as Rogue goes onto the defense of the bar and stock. It's make it or break it here. They've not successfully defended this yet, so it's going to be a struggle, that's for sure. Pulling out all the stops, they have but one chance to deny that third map.
You figure if we go to overtime, Rogue will have taken full control of momentum at that point?
I mean, yeah, but also you have to keep in mind the way Clubhouse works. It's going to come down to whoever gets attacked first, in all likelihood, on overtime. That's probably who will win. I mean, Evil Geniuses isn't the sort of team that gives up without a fight. There's no way.
NVK has gone cold as well. I believe this is now 3 rounds in a row where he has not contributed on the score sheet, leading his team in terms of deaths. Now, KD not the be-all and end-all of stat tracking in Rainbow Six, but isn't doing too much outside of utility, given the fact that he's not necessarily on utility-based operators.
10 seconds remaining.
Not maximum value for his team.
A lot of the most important stats are stats we can't even see, so
5 seconds
yeah.
remaining. Attackers have recovered their defuse.
Action phase of round number 8, still match point for Evil Geniuses. Easily up top in cash room, going for some fortifications. The Valkyrie camp outside as well.
Kind of an interesting setup here in cash. Reinforcements going down on the external walls. Not sure what the plan exactly is for the defense. Is basically just cutting off a rotation between the 2 top floors. A very predictable rotation, yes, but a rotation all the same.
Looked like Slash went for a spawn rush outside of stock as well, in case anybody was spawning over nearby. Another spawn rush now for Avian. Eclipse takes down Young. Avian tries to do it, but NVK is there. Doesn't lose a single bit of health, and that is the superiority of an ACOG at that distance to take down the Bandit with his holographic.
If it weren't for that kill earlier from Rogue, I believe Slash was the one who got that, it would be Evil Geniuses at a huge deficit now. Every single life on the defense is oh so valuable. Good read there from NVK to expect the bird to fly out that doorway. Clip's gonna get lit up by the glass, putting him on to 45 HP or thereabouts. Slash gets one onto NVK. BC responds in kind, easily goes down. Still an even contest between these teams. No one, or both teams, reluctant to give up the lead.
BC up top, currently isolated from his team. Canadian will get nearby. You see a Valkyrie camera's blue ring just up in the corner of the screen. They don't see it, but Rogue knows where they're coming from. Necrox still over by stock, literally all by his lonesome now. Eclipse pushes back into the main room of bar as they still do some drone work.
You can see Rogue primed and ready to deny that push. Canadian, a nice nade, will down Eclipse in the main doorway. He cannot possibly have known he got that down, given there are no point notifications in Pro League. He might be able to get picked up, salvaged, but here comes the drone. He's gonna see the downed player and call aggression from his team, trying to capitalize. It's too little too late though. The second nade will miss as Rogue falls further back into the site. Eclipse gets a kill on the Necrox. Rogue looks poised to get it into OT. BC challenging from Lounge. Neither players will hit their shots. Canadian takes out Eclipse. It's just back and forth with these two teams. 35 seconds, and Evil Geniuses is not pressed at all for time. Just trying to take the fights. The diffuser is down, which means that EG needs to get the frags. They don't have time to dwaddle. Canadian pushing wide. Smoke gonna win that fight. Brian, a nice headshot. Good reactions there. The last one on EG is BC. He's gonna get Brian. Slashug has to win it out with only 10 seconds left. BC goes for the diffuser. He's gonna attempt a plant. He doesn't really have any choice, and Slashug wins the round. Overtime for Rogue, and Clubhouse is not over yet.
Evil Genius is looking absolutely deflated, unable to secure a 4-1 victory. Now overtime looms over top of them. EG will start on defense.
3 rounds in a row for Rogue, and EG starting on defense. So, If you're new to Rainbow Six, let me explain why EG lost the coin toss here. The defense of Clubhouse is, yes, of course, favored on the basement. But defending that bar stockroom, as you have likely seen throughout this match, is extremely difficult. It takes a lot of strategy and a unique play that often only works once. Now, because Evil Geniuses is going to defend first downstairs, once they're successful here, they're going to have to round it out after losing, likely, an attack onto the basement. They're going to have to round it out by holding that middle floor. So they're going to be the ones in the pressure spot, as Rogue have got to be feeling comfortable winning the coin toss here. Now, we are inches away from Evil Geniuses being eliminated.
Potentially under 10 minutes.
Yeah, potentially under 10 minutes. They are, of course, the previous world champions. So if they lose here,
there goes the world champion.
Yeah, there goes that title, no matter what. Of course, Rogue won't get the world championship right off the bat. They have to go to the finals and win then.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
Penta's licking their chops at either of these two teams as they beat up on each other.
Yep.
They won 2-0 earlier over Black Dragons. If Rogue can pull the comeback out, then it will be another 2-0, this time in favor of Rogue. We'll have our matchup set for the grand finals, what will be surely an exciting affair between two teams. For Rogue, they would have an opportunity to do what they couldn't last year, which was go to the finals and win. And for Penta, it would simply be a story of them winning yet another championship. EG has essentially 3 rounds left in what could be a shortened invitational shorter invitational rather than they wanted. They're just going to wait for Rogue to be able to get onto the site. Last time around, we saw Avian push through blue. It does appear that that's exactly what he'll do this time, too.
Top floor control well in hand now for Rogue. They were much more efficient with their drones this time, and EG, not being as bold as they once were, will have 5 anchors in the site. Unless, of course, you count Necrox in that construction tunnel, which that's basically an anchor.
A lot of control upstairs. You can see, though, that roam really hasn't actually set Rogue back that much. EG didn't bother to try to go for another roam at all. The barrel of NVK's gun is seen on a drone situated inside of blue. The rotate hole leading inside of actual Arsenal. He'll get concussed as NVK sits still by blue. A good bandit trick from Canadian will prevent that wall from being opened up by the ex-Keros of Hibana. That's easily sitting at the bottom of the stairs.
That means one of the drop downs will not be opened up because Rogue only has a single hard destructor and they can only get 2 drops as a result. Slashug will take BC down. That's a great frag there, I believe right in front of the blue wall. Necrox responds, the bird goes down. Avian attempting to push in through the garage tunnel.
You can see that it was Necrox who was also under fire inside of blue. It's a joint effort as now Brian takes in, but a double from Canadian. Eclipse and Slash fall from the captain himself, who pushes up but is no match for the sidearm of Easily. You can see some smokes from Brian as he looks to drop through blue. They still have a chance here to be able to get inside of sight. Diffuser, though, in the possession of neither member of Rogue. They'll have to go grab it, which they will. Easily gets it and has 25 seconds to be able to get inside of sight and get that plant down. NVK peeks the corner. Brian disappears. Bottom easily just by the basement hallway door. The bottom of the stairs. Crouch walks. A great peek from Young. EG looking to stop the bleeding. They will now move to match point yet again. It'll be their 4th time trying to capitalize. So a successful basement hold for them means that they will, if they lose this round, have to go upstairs to bar, a site that they have not performed as well on over the last couple rounds against Rogue. Rogue will have the easiest site on the map, Church and Arsenal Room. They'll run Blitz on the, or they'll run Young on the Blitz rather. The last time they did that, it wasn't enough to fool Rogue. They were prepared and waiting for the shield to push in through Dirt Tunnel and were able to pick him off.
Young, a formidable shield player, that's for sure. We'll see if he's able to make the construction push work this time for him. It's actually not worked for either team. They've both been trying it, and it just hasn't established enough control to justify use from what we've seen so far.
The very last time that this was brought out, Young was able to get in. He had NVK behind him as an escort. Amidst the smoke, NVK got pushed and taken out of action by one of the defenders of Rogue, sitting inside a blue bar. It was Young who then, or blue rather, downstairs. It was then Young, the shield operator, who was able to get up to the bomb site itself, but at that point, not much to do. He tried to move inside of Church and was swiftly executed by, if I remember correctly, the smoke of Brian.
So while Rogue are on potentially match point here, they've got to be feeling pretty comfortable, given that they are defending the basement. Young pushing into the construction tunnel. He is going to get hit by the Legions and the Ellas as well. Very disoriented, but it actually went both ways. The Slash was too close to his own Gersmont.
They're really stacking up inside of the dirt tunnel.
Definitely a lot of contention here in the dirt tunnel. Like you said, what was that from Slashug? Giving away his life to Canadian because he downed NVK behind Young. Lots of HP lost for EG here, but a swift recovery. A little bit frag hungry there from Slash.
I think he was expecting there to be a party at the end of Dirt Tunnel. 4 members of EG within close enough proximity. Brian just doing some remodeling work will take almost 25 health away from the Legion of Eclipse. A small mistake, but one that could prove to be fatal in a fight later on down the road. Young is a drone escort as he holds a very tight angle around the corner at the end of Dirt Tunnel. Relying on Canadian above, they will successfully take the hatch in Kitchen. Now have a 2-pronged attack. They can hold pressure from above while allowing Young to get inside and try to zone out the defenders.
Still some smokes, I think, on the attack here, which means Evil Geniuses might have a lot of control. One single one on Young. What he's got to do is get it placed perfectly. Brian inside of blue, trying to stall out as much as possible using those gas canisters. Avian on a long flank. No one's watching this from Evil Geniuses. This could be fatal. Necrox gets Eclipse, and Avian's got to go for the push now. Otherwise, he won't be useful. The diffuser is down outside, and that means the attack won't have any potential plant, no matter what. There's no one from EG to pick it up. At the bottom of main stairs, the barrel of Habana gives away Necrox and easily will pick up that kill. Rogue look poised to win this round with only 40 seconds left, and again, the diffuser still down. Avian must have seen it just outside the freezer door there. He's gonna flick around and take BC down. I'm not sure how the Thermite didn't expect Avian to be inside of Kitchen still. Young gets downed inside of blue. The last attacker, NVK, has 1 bullet's worth of HP, and he's going to be pushing towards the diffuser. Finally picks that up. A huge miscommunication from EG, and it looks like Bird actually might get caught off guard. Does indeed, but wins the fight anyway. What was that? Necrox, a huge hiccup, and now Evil Geniuses will have to defend the bar stock to deny themselves being eliminated from this Invitational. That is huge.
Rogue looks positively energized as they know that Fortune is smiling on them with the site that they have to attack on. That for Evil Geniuses was a very embarrassing round.
Oh, absolutely.
They had 2 operators just out to lunch, nobody watching flank, diffuser miles away. They got caught with their pants down by Avian, and he was just able to completely take them by surprise. And that was it.
I mean, adding to that, you have the insult of losing to, despite that push from Slash. I mean, what was that Ella push into the construction tunnel? Just got torn apart, basically worthless, didn't help much in that round. And still, a free kill and a loss.
You're basically given that opportunity too. Look at how even right now Rogue is doing, but it's been even all over the board. NVK still putting in a lot of work for his team, but I really like the depth that we've seen out of Rogue. Every single member has pulled their weight sufficiently. It's always nice when you can see a roster and not be able to immediately point out if there should be any discussion over a, I guess, weakling.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Not a single player on either of these teams is the sort of guy you go, hey, we would like to replace this guy after the season ends. No, we see a lot of teams come to events like this and they lose early on or just lose in general, and they immediately point a finger and blame another or one of their teammates. And no one has that problem between Rogue and Evil Geniuses. I'm guessing no matter who loses here, you'll see a pretty consistent roster throughout. and leading into the next season. So, Rogue need to clear out any potential roamers. We do have one, I believe that's going to be upstairs at the least.
One of the big focuses for EG is going to be ensuring that BC doesn't reposition that yokai too many times. Avian was tracking it very methodically last time around to try and eliminate it.
It's going to be actually 2 roamers upstairs. That's Young and Canadian right now, fighting off 3 of the attackers who are on their roof. Very narrowly avoiding death right now from Canadian, easily holding that angle.
Realizes that he's thrown in the wrong place, comes back out. Canadian playing a very dangerous game.
Certainly.
His position is known somewhat, but with the way Vigil's effect works, will likely need some help. Eclipse is inside of Office, and Legion look to peek around the corner, sets one of his mines, and just Eclipse so patient, just waiting. But they're not going to take the bait. They'll shoot at each other. Necrox gets the first kill. Slash. That is the Blackbeard, and that is a huge sigh of relief if you are evil geniuses.
Necrox did lose a lot of HP in that fight, but ultimately coming on top, you've got to be feeling comfortable. Now, Rogue is stalling out a lot here. They need to clear this master area, and they haven't even come close. As easily on this drop down.
Last time around, Rogue was able to bully their way in by taking care of that gym room so fast. Easily sat in that room for about a minute and a half. And nobody bothered to do much to him. Eclipse, after sustaining a lot of damage, manages to outduel Young. That was a great kill from him. Able to just snap on over. Now easily spotting Canadian, puts in a lot of damage, and now they're all so low, but amidst that, Rogue gets the bomb down. Canadian takes easily out from above. And there's 3 members left of Rogue, but they have the bomb down and they have firm control of Strip. You're a quarter of the way through that diffuser. The yokai drone does get shot, but Eclipse gets finished off by NBK. It's Avian and Brian left. A lot of patience. Disoriented, the glass of Brian gets a couple shots in, traded. Avian takes out Necrox. The bird will need to clutch, as it's Canadian and BC. He's gonna get pushed from 2 angles. Avian down! EG just needs to get the diffuser. It didn't look like they were gonna pull it off, but we have a 3rd map, tied up 1-1. EG takes map 2.
Evil Geniuses with a decisive, well, very much not actually, a back and forth win there on Clubhouse. It definitely seemed like Rogue was going to take it in the end. They had the defuse plant down, they had the control in their favor, they just at no point actually cleared the master area.
So Consulate next, Canadian, their captain, coming in big when need be. A heartbreaker for Rogue after it looked like they had mounted the comeback of comebacks here. They'll be able to go and speak with their coaches and come up with strategies for Consulate, our 3rd matchup.
I mean, I seriously thought that Rogue had won that round as soon as they got the defuse plant down. But if they had just put in the extra amount of effort required to clear out Master, it would have been a through-and-through victory there for Rogue. They skipped a step. And that so often is the result, or the reason we have results like this.
Whether it be just a lack of coordination on their drone work, a bit fitting that EG had thrown away round number 10 due to poor coordination, and it was Rogue who ended up getting bitten by it in round number 11. We'll toss it down to our experts on the analyst desk, and we'll hear their thoughts on what just happened.
Thank you, Interrobang and Kickstuff, taking us through 2 incredible maps of another incredible match here at the 6 Invitational. Yeah, both of those teams want to get into that final tomorrow. Evil Geniuses, of course, they consider that Sledge Trophy to already be theirs from being the world champions last year. They want it again, but Rogue making sure nobody overlooks them as an incredible team from NA. So the first map, EG just about brought it back to 1-all. Zeronic and Wilkie with me here on the expert desk. Let's talk a little bit about those 2 incredible maps before we bring you the decider. Let's start by looking back at Kafe. If you've got roamers on the top floor and you want to deal with them, then dealing with them means killing them, not letting them get away.
Yeah, both teams had a huge problem clearing those roamers near the top floor A-bomb side. So if you want to hunt those down, you need someone at the top floor A-bomb side windows or to the wide stairs and then push them so that they cannot escape. Or the other way to do it is just ignore them and go from the bottom to the middle floor, like when the defenders are defending the train room. But neither team did that. Like, it's so easy to tunnel vision on these like high pressure moments that you just every time we go it from top to bottom, but that's not the only way to do it. Like, the game has multiple levels, so you can also come from the bottom to the top or to the middle. So yeah. If one doesn't work, why don't try the other one?
Yeah. How are you? Good to see you guys. And this incredible dog. We can't quite get on camera. I don't think we'd love to, but the dog on the table. It can only go well. Can you come up here? Hello. Look at this. This is a genuine. Let me get this right. How do I describe this? Bomb. We haven't got a microphone for you, I'm afraid, but talking to here for me. Tell me correctly, very quickly, how we describe this. His job is?
His job is bomb detection.
Bomb detection. Yeah, for real. These guys are genuine. These guys are brilliantly trained. They help us with the game, help with advice on equipment and so on. Thank you very much for being here, guys. It's been absolutely fantastic having you here in Montreal with us. Extra special guest on the desk. We need a bowl of water. Back to map 1. And back to map 1 then. You are very interested to wonder why, you want an operator with nades. Jackal's a pick, but there are other ones, and you felt like Jackal was the wrong one for NVK.
I feel like we saw a big difference in the operator picks between the two teams. Rogue choosing the Ying for their smoke grenades, and NVK assuming choosing Jackal for that.
Yeah.
If Jackal was mainly to hunt the roamers, I feel like that could have been changed a bit. We've seen NVK on Ashe, and he's absolutely amazing on that. And the Jackal just didn't seem to work out for them. There's many other choices for that smoke. Ying, Dokkaebi, Capitao. So I don't know. It felt like that Ying made a massive difference for Rogue, especially in, I think it was the last round where Slash pushes all the way into Freezer.
Yeah, it felt like they feared the roamers in the middle floor, but they actually didn't have any C4s there, so there's not actually anything to fear for, so you can just push to the top floor. And if you want to have the smokes, the Ying does the job a lot better, or Glass, like Slash Hawk did. Just go with the smokes and Glass and just hit 3 headshots and you win the round right there.
You make that sound so easy, Wilkie.
It looked easy.
Just get the 3 headshots.
Yeah, I lost my Glass in the season 1.
Aww. Map 2, though, was where EG managed to stay in this contest and take it to our decider. Opening stuff. Feels like EG needed to do a bit more of that, you were saying, as we were enjoying that round.
Wilkie and I was talking about it while the match was going on, that it seemed like they brought a lot of soft destruction without ever taking the time to actually open enough stuff up. And then we see them later on change to run Hibana and Thermite at the same time, and that's where they really started coming back again.
Yeah, in the beginning, the EG had the sledge instead of a bug attacking the basement. It's kind of weird because you really want to open up that kitchen floor, and also they didn't have attachers. So if they want to open the church wall, you actually need to have attacher to deny the bandits or mutes, or you need to have a bug to open up the top floor from the wall to throw a grenade over it and take out the batteries.
Plus, we saw Canadian take Buck instead of BC.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Yeah.
Where we've seen BC have some amazing nades. A few team kills with the nades, but let's leave that.
He got enough kills at the other side that they'll forgive him.
He definitely made up for it.
He's unbelievable with them.
Yeah, he is. I think he's probably the most precise nade player in the game.
Yeah, and like Buck is, one would say, the hardest operator to play in the whole game because the recoil is so different to every other gun in the game. So if you have one guy maining the operator, why don't you just let him play that and pick something else for yourself?
Interesting.
I think
I feel like there's a little more to come, but yeah. All right, we'll leave that. But you're right, you know, and if you've got somebody who's brilliant with an operator, we have players in Pro League who are known like they only ever, in a whole season, they only play one operator on attack or one on defense, and there are a few who only play one of either, and that's it, and then the team works around that. And so it is unusual to see like, all right, Buck goes to Canadian instead.
Yeah, and also I feel like Canadian could have done a lot better with like playing Termite that BC played, because once you use your charges, you can actually just rush in and do that like aggressive play style. You only need to just use those charges and then you can play aggressive. So with Buck, you still need to play a bit more supportive role with opening up things, floors, walls,
I think when they started running Hibana and Thermite, that really opened up the team to start playing more freely, because you're not as dependent on, I mean, if one of them dies, sure you can't play your original strat, but you're not forced to do something ridiculous. You can still get in the bomb site somehow. Where we saw, there was a notable round with, I think it was Glass and Thermite on their attack that didn't really work out. We were questioning a bit what they were, no, sorry, a Glass and a Hibana. Yeah. We were questioning a bit what that was supposed to end up like. But
so is this feeling like a match with mistakes, which means neither team has won it yet, or teams that are figuring each other out as they go, and bearing in mind they know each other so well before we began today?
Well, a lot of mistakes were made, but to be honest, both teams won their picks.
Yeah.
And both teams, like, you shouldn't play.
But EG were 4-1 up there, and then it went all the way into a 6-5 overtime, and it looked like it had slipped away from them. And we actually thought, as overtime was beginning, the three of us were thinking, okay, this will probably go to Rogues, because you were saying, like, they're probably going to get bar on the third map, and that's what worked out.
It was really nice that EG was able to hold the last hold in the bar, because usually in Clubhouse, the team that gets the first defense in OT loses the match, because both teams are going to defend the basement. Both teams usually win the basement because it's quite easy to defend. And then the other one needs to defend the bar or master bedroom or cast room, and those are really hard to defend, and the attacker has the advantage. So yeah, good job from EG to be able to win it in the OT.
So let's work out who will be in our World Championship final tomorrow. We're going to go and play on Consulate, and out of Consulate will come a team to face Pentasports tomorrow. Could it be the reigning world champions looking to defend their trophy, or could it be Rogue? And we know a new champion is with us. Let's find out, ladies and gentlemen. Back to Kickstar and Interrobang, back to EG and Rogue.
As if there was any other way that this matchup was going to end than a third map.
I know. I think a lot of us were expecting that Clubhouse to just sink away in Rogue's favor, but EG not giving up without a fight. Now going on to the third map, Consulate, a map that I think historically clearly favors EG. Rogue have got to be in a pretty tight spot right now.
I mean, we said that Kafe favored Rogue. EG was able to bring the fight to them, and then Clubhouse favored EG, and well, they almost threw that one away. Rogue played incredibly well and able to push it into the final round. We'll go to Consulate for our last match of the day to determine who will face Pentasports in the Invitational Grand Finals tomorrow.
It's all or nothing here. Of course, whichever team wins between the two, it will be a North American team going to those finals, so it's going to be an EU versus NA final once more. Last Invitational was NA versus NA, and I think an interesting fact, just kind of out of topic here, we were expecting, I think, a Latin American team to make it all the way to the finals. So caught off guard by the fact that they didn't.
I figured that FaZe would probably make a good surge to the finals depending on who they ended up getting. But they ended up fighting Evil Geniuses in the very first quarterfinal and provided us with one of the most exciting matches that I have had the pleasure of watching, well, as casting. It was a great match by both, and I have a feeling that we might actually break that here with map number 3.
Certainly.
Between these two teams.
So, middle floor defense from EG. They're going to be trying something a little bit different, although not that far out of meta. We've been seeing a lot of middle floors coming out, actually, at the Invitational. Preferred bomb site is, I think, the basement, but the middle floor is still been seeing a little bit of play.
Some teams will even run this in favor of going up to the second floor.
Yeah.
Which, to me, is a little odd, just because they do defend very similarly. I feel like a broken record always saying your key focus is going to be clearing out the floor above the actual OBJ, which right now is where NVK sits, just inside of the bathrooms.
It's also got the support of Necrox on those yellow stairs, and Canadian all the way at the bottom of the yellow stairs. Eclipse narrowly missing some shots onto NVK, who will reposition deep inside of bathroom. He's just going to be waiting right now for the Buck to pressure him a little bit more, aware that his position is completely given away. Rotation here to yellow, very wise from NVK. Does not need to fight that, nor wait for the grenades of Buck to come through the window.
That was terrific droning work earlier on to reveal NVK, but able to survive. Half the round to go, Avian has sustained some damage. It sounded like it was from the pulse, potentially, of Canadian earlier on. They will manage to take another position onto the garage, which has been reinforced as well. So look at that. They are expending those Excaros charges onto the garage, even though the site is from above. Canadian underneath the bomb knows when they'll push in, spots them on that cardiac sensor, just waiting, almost taunting them to jump in through that window to be greeted by his Nitro self.
There are actually 3 roamers downstairs right now. This is basically a basement attack as Slashhug moves into Piano. Will dodge a C4 from below. Avian's gonna go for the defuse plant next to the Piano itself, and it doesn't look like EG can stop it. No, they do! Necroc's a nice shot from the hallway, refragged by Slash, but Necroc's a double kill. Takes down Slashhug, and Evil Geniuses retain control of the site. Eclipse just outside yellow stairs, looking to fight someone as he pushes in. Canadian is calling out Eclipse's position throughout this entire round on those yellow stairs. One more repelling. That's the Blackbeard. He goes up to the roof. He's looking for the fights. Starts coming down the stairs, actually. He's going to lose the fight to NVK. Easily goes down, and Eclipse will also. The third for Necrox. Can he get a fourth? No. Brian shuts him down. Gets a double kill. Not a triple, though. Young finishes things off, and Evil Geniuses will win the first round of Consulate.
What a great patrol by Necrox inside of Piano on that main floor. Made sure that anybody who got into that room lasted a lot less than you would expect. They had control when they came in with the Ying. Avian was mid-defuse when it was the Jaeger who pushed up and was able to clean both of them up. And even though BC went down, Necrox was there for the refrag and kept his team in it and competitive. And then he just kept rotating. Even though you saw that Rogue was going with some late round drone work, it wasn't enough, as there were just simply not enough members of their team to be able to get in and capitalize. We're also going to see another lobby defense. This time around, going with Rogue, and they are going to have a castle along with them. Something that we didn't see for EG, that Rogue is going to find probably more effective. Not uncommon to see castles around here. Usually at this point, you'll castle it off, make them have to fight you for control of the bathroom. Though Avian could potentially use those barricades from above.
I like the way that we are seeing Rogue open up the drop downs in the main lobby. That's going to allow them to play downstairs to deny that front door push, which is something we did see a lot of from Evil Geniuses just the round prior, prioritizing that bottom floor control. A lot of people think you have to hold top floor on this site, and that's simply not true. What you really need to do on the top floor is delay the push from the attacks. You don't have to hold it outright, you just need to stop them from getting the top floor control in the first 30 or 40 seconds.
Which then becomes imperative that you on defense are able to hold for a little bit longer than that. Kill as much time as possible, give an advantage to your team, and then make it so you have to rush inside of the site. Proper time management, very important for all sites, but especially for the lobby hold that we see for the defense.
EG are starting their attack with admin control. You can see them droning all the way down to the server. They are going to find easily on those Visa stairs, which is going to prompt him to relocate back downstairs. Now from all the way down in the basement in server, you can actually see people, I believe, on admin. It's a pretty long angle from easily, or long heartbeat rather, but it's very useful, that's for sure. BC is on IQ, so he will be able to effectively counter the pulse of easily should he choose to.
We saw that before when they were on the basement of Clubhouse, at least Rogue was. BC was able to hunt him down and then shut him down, and it was Easily who put away that cardiac sensor and didn't really bring it out again for most of the round, bring it out right at the end. They've got great control up top. They're going to continue to push. They've managed to get inside of admin, but there's 2 defenders waiting at the western side of the floor. Make that 3, as it actually does look like there's one playing on the top of yellow stairs.
Easily is still running around on the bottom floor looking for the ability to C4 someone from below. As he comes up from spiral stairs, that's of course going to be his main objective. There are some people from Evil Geniuses trying to hunt him down, but the main focus for EG is simply this top floor control as they start moving their way towards Projector. Easily coming up from behind. This is very interesting. EG has not checked their flank. Visa stairs are left unattended right now. Actually, very narrowly, Easily is going to be dodging this Thatcher of NVK, who is that flank watch.
They pass by like 2 ships in the night for the moment, waiting to see if Easily will jump up at any moment to try and strike. It's NVK who doesn't know that there's somebody in there. He's holding, watching a push from below, and could potentially wind up in the crosshairs of the Pulse. Easily gets it. NVK caught by surprise, but Easily's position given away. We'll see the IQ and outduel him, but no, BC. It's the delayed refrag. Only 30 seconds left. Necrox sticks the plant. They're not on the Yokai drone. It's too late. Canadian takes out Eclipse. Momentum favoring EG. A double for the captain. Gets taken down by Slash. Cooled off, but still an advantage in favor of Evil Geniuses. He's got a smoke and an LLF. Ability to potentially deny entry from the attackers while working on the defuse. But they're not working at all on that diffuser one bit. They're just trying to find out where the attackers are. Young position on a window. Necrox manages to get his Claymore blown up on the Slash. And Brian running out of time. BC watches EG 2-0.
Good assault there from EG, but ultimately coming down to the fact that Rogue neglected to utilize their Yokai drone appropriately, not thinking about the enemy just walking in through front door and planting the diffuser, getting a little distracted with the roam clear, and that's just disappointing, to be honest. Rogue have made some pretty major mistakes so far in this matchup, and that's resulted in them not getting the 2-0. I mean, if you look back to Clubhouse, if they had simply cleared out that master side of the building when attacking onto bar in the final round, it would have been a pretty easy win for them.
The elation that was seen on Rogue's face is completely gone.
Yep.
Necrox right now top fragging as well.
Yeah, Necrox has been having a great match so far. Rogue, again, a team that they're very emotional. They can get stuck in that underdog mentality, and this is the worst possible moment for that to happen to them.
Speaking specifically of Necrox, he's been playing the roamer fragging roles and has been fulfilling that job quite well. It's been a change that they made. You saw that he was stuck on anchor and support players on Clubhouse. Often find himself in unwinnable positions or getting picked early as he was trying to rotate. We saw this in Kafe too. A couple times where in a smoke, he was trying to escape a particular room that he was in after being chased out by a drone, right into the waiting arms of a member of Rogue. Now that he's switched roles, the rest of EG seems to be playing well. Complete opposite from what we saw against FaZe when they were running with Necrox and NVK duo roaming. FaZe was shutting them down and they had to switch back to old habits. On old habits, they've now switched to what they had been using recently in scrims, and it's paying dividends. They're up 2-0.
The information defender that is favored in this matchup is clearly Pulse. Neither team opting to really invest in any other info up. Most notably, Valkyrie seeing a lack of play here on Consulate, which is just odd. Usually you see 2 or 3 of those cameras go outside. Easily still going to be bringing the IQ just to counter Canadians' play on Pulse, but not going to need to look for cams outside. 2 roamers downstairs for EG, NVK, and Canadian. Rogue just setting up their attack on the roof right now.
You have Necrox playing on yellow. They burn the ADSs. He doesn't see the drone that was inside of the bathroom. He gets picked apart. That ADS unable to grab the frag grenade that was dropped through the window inside a bathroom. Inability from Evil Geniuses to be able to take care of these drones. So that's, I guess, good drone economy, if you can use that term, for Rogue right now, as they are managing to gather that intel while getting their precious drones away safely. Oftentimes, we'll see teams just kind of throw those drones in haphazardly. We managed to drop a Mira as well, which is less control in favor of EG. Canadian sends a C4 up. It claims no victims whatsoever. He'll go back onto his heartbeat sensor after a failed toss. And look at the pressure that is being applied to Connector. All hung up on console window, waiting. 2 grenades for Eclipse, as you'd seen IQ burn them earlier. managed to get a kill from Necrox, so worthwhile value out of them.
NVK could very easily run out via the call of Canadian right now and get the kill onto Buck, but he's going to stay safe, instead opting to wait out the round. Here comes the push into B. BC gets Slashug, Eclipse responds. A little bit of a stall out here now. Rogue trying to establish control over B, but they have seen Easily, who was attempting to be the defuse planter, downed. Inside a bathroom, Eclipse has a lot of control and is denying NVK the rotation back into sight from yellow stairs. Nade goes out just to delay for time. He's got to worry about 2 angles as there are defenders who could potentially rush him from reception. Nice angle here from Brian trying to cut off the rotation. Evil Geniuses hasn't given away anything to it yet. As NVK continues to peek onto the yellow stairs, there's only 14 seconds left. Here comes the repel from Avian. He gets BC a nice shot into connector. Eclipse still looking for frags. Brian will get one though onto Young. NVK coming up yellow finally. Needs to find 3 more and get a 4K to win this round. Defuse is going down. He gets the headshot onto Easily, but cannot deny the defuse plant. Now a 1-on-2. Playing the angles. Will lose to Brian, and Rogue win their very first round of Consulate, putting it on to 2-1.
A relief to not find yourself trailing 3-0 on the tiebreaker. They get within striking distance. I feel for Rogue that as long as they can keep an even pace or even take the lead early on, that this map would do well for them. Right now, unfortunately, they do trail if you're a fan of Rogue.
Garage Cafeteria now going to be the defense for Rogue.
So in 4 rounds, we will see all 3 sites on Consulate get played.
Crowd once again trying to surge EG with confidence. Now we've seen defense of the basement, but we haven't seen defense of the basement, as the last time Rogue attacked onto the main lobby, they put a lot of pressure downstairs via that garage panel. Looks like it's going to be a similar situation here, just the difference being, of course, the bomb site location. Evil Geniuses have brought the Thermite Thatcher combo, which is going to aid them quite a lot in opening up that garage. Avian on the Bandit, as well as Eclipse on the Mute, might be just the disruption they need to deny that push. But it's more likely Eclipse will be using all of his jammers, or Overlords, to deny the droning of the roams.
5 seconds to go.
I didn't know it was called an Overlord on his Elite skin.
You know, I've been playing this game for almost like 2 years now, and I didn't know that either.
Well, it's only because it's renamed because of the Elite skin.
Yeah, it's the Elite skin, I know, but still, I had no idea.
I did not know.
I mean, you learn something new every single day when you play Rainbow Six. That's the honest truth.
These are pretty typical placements as well for the signal disruptors of the Mute, situated in places where they're going to cut off some information on the first floor as well. That's why you see a couple of them on the basement floor elevated. They're sitting on top of cabinets or shelving units, etc.
So, Evil Geniuses need to get that garage panel opened up. And got Bandit charges pre-placed from Avian. Necrox, interestingly, going to be the flank hold. Now, again, talked about this actually before last time we saw it from EG. This is one of the most powerful positions to deny a run-out from the defense. You can cover every single possible run-out location from that rappel, whether it be the CEO windows, the yellow stairs windows, the yellow stairs door, or the run-out from the garage. Technically, the only thing you can't really catch is the piano window run-out, but, you know, you get what you can get.
The amount of Claymore kills I think we see on Consulate far outnumber any other map, at least in the quarters that I can recall, with teams preferring to leap out of the windows and plummeting either to their deaths or the Claymore sitting underneath it. Still some delayed drone work going on as Canadian sees if there's anyone playing at the bottom of yellow. No one. Surveying that the black car, pipes, as well as pillars are completely vacated at the moment.
Young going on to these south windows, going to look for Slashug inside of Piano. He's got that DMR and that shield. He will hit the headshot. Slashug goes down.
Young rather has had a very slow start to the day. It's the complete opposite of what we saw yesterday, where he was basically able to single-handedly win a number of rounds for his team. Necrox with very little pressure now able to open up both panels of the garage, and Avian rotating gets pushed. NVK greets him and says goodbye. It's now Eclipse coming in, and he's going to take a couple shots at NVK. That's a really, really nice shot from him. NVK falls. Still a numbers advantage in favor of Evil Geniuses, just by 1. But only 45 seconds.
Slow push down the yellow stairs and through the garage panel. Ash is going to open up that barbed wire to make the push later in the round oh so much easier. Eclipse still roaming in main lobby. He's going to go for the challenge, but not even attempt the fight. BC wins that one easily. Now it's all down to Easley and Brian. Brian on the yellow stairs, goes for the shotgun blast, actually downs Canadian through the door. Don't expect that. BC from above looking for the pulse. Young will take down Brian. He's had a fantastic round and easily onto the garage panel, missing his shots. Half HP with 9 seconds left. Evil Genius is going for the defuse plant. A potential C4 could win the round right here, but it's too late. He will get the kill on the neck box, but he's going to have to find 2 more. With only 1 bullet's worth of HP, it doesn't seem likely. Young going to be positioning himself over outside and above. You have BC on that buck, prepping a nade just to delay the round. It falls down, easily falls back, and he doesn't have a lot of options here. BC now on the yellow stairs. Young outside by the car, will win the fight. Evil Geniuses, 3-1.
Impact frags over and over again for Young there to be able to get control of Piano and then finish everything off at the end. Now EG is only 2 rounds away. Rogues hopes of making it into the grand finals, slowly slipping away. A shame after how well they were able to storm back on Clubhouse and almost make it 2-0.
Another lobby defense now from Evil Geniuses. And Eclipse responding to Young's Blackbeard with one of his own. Definitely a favorite operator here on Consulate for pretty much every team. I think he's one of the most versatile ops for this site, given the amount of times you have to fight people from an outside window.
It's overall a very Blackbeard-friendly map, no matter what site it is too. With a few maps that he seems like almost a no-brainer.
I remember when he first came out, playing him on House, which is, I think, one of the only maps that is more Blackbeard heavy than this one.
EG dedicating a lot of time to simply boarding up every single doorway that they can find in the entire building.
10 seconds to go.
New camera feed.
Slow them down.
Lots of delay there with those barricades. Top floor control going to be a focus for Evil Geniuses. Previously, they applied a lot of focus rather to the bottom floor to hold this middle floor.
Still just taking a couple seconds after prep phase is done to finish your touch-ups. Easily been running IQ. In fact, Rogue has been running a lot of IQ just to be able to counter these Valkyries. This is another map in particular where a lot of Valkyrie is played due to the nature of the actual building itself. Get a couple Valkyrie cams outside. Not only will it aid you in being able to know where the enemies are, but it pairs very nicely the fact that people do love to be able to jump out or get shots through the window.
Was that a C4 used for rotation in the bathroom?
It was.
It certainly looked like it, yeah. Kind of an interesting choice there from Evil Geniuses. You got to have the rotation. Maybe a bit of a miscommunication not bringing an op that has the impacts. Kind of interesting there. Yeah, or a shotgun. Neither impacts or shotgun. Yeah, interesting choice from EG, certainly, but they've got a lot of frag potential as a result. However, you know, C4 is also frag potential. Looks like it's going to be a clear from admin office over to the other side of the top floor. CEO for Rogue. At least that's their initial focus here. So you can see easily trying to deny any pulse. C4 from below, so his teammate can aggress very, very easily.
Most difficult casting these matches when we use the word easily for near a C4.
His name is too easy. Oof.
I heard the ticking of the C4, or the hum of the C4 rather, but there's nothing. Right now, they're just stalled out, waiting on that second floor, waiting for the cavalry to arrive. Half of the round has been expended. Slash and Eclipse were positioned at the top of these stairs. Your Blackbeard as well as your Ying, poised to strike. You could always conceivably use that Ying just at the main entrance to lobby or from the hatch above, which remains reinforced. They haven't been able to get a Hibana over there to use her utility in that manner whatsoever. NVK rotates all the way down to the bottom. Yellow stairs and then through cafeteria. You can see that they've used 3 barricades as well as 3 bandit charges to deny a push in through the garage. That's what Rogue had done last time around. They will forego that this time and instead just go for a push from the second floor.
Easily still outside this Visa window, going to decide to finally vault on into Visa, opening up this doorway. We've seen BC get the C4 into Slash before Canadian eliminates Avian. Necrox, Eclipse, NVK easily, and it's all down to Brian outside the front door. Looking into the A bomb site, and the Bathroom hallway, he's not going to find anything. He doesn't have nearly enough time to win this round, and he's going to have to ace in order to do so. Necrox setting himself up for a run out. Not a very wise idea generally, but I think it's pretty safe in this case. Brian seemingly saving his op, waiting for the push. May as well get a kill or two.
5 seconds remaining.
But as the time ticks down, Brian will have nothing, and he will lose the round.
Rogue being happy with the map ban phase doesn't look so happy right now. Evil Geniuses are 1 round away from the grand finals.
Rogue seemed very confident on both Cafe and Clubhouse, but it slipped away.
I think this is the loudest we've heard the crowd all day. Going on attack, Canadian going onto the Ash, BC onto the Buck. Looks like it's going to be another garage hold, this time for Rogue. They'll go downstairs. And all of EG pulling their weight now, possibly energized after that wild finale on Clubhouse. Crazy to think that only 20 minutes ago, it seemed like we were looking at an easy 2-0 for Rogue after they were able to tie it up in extra innings on Clubhouse.
I gotta be honest, Consulate as a map, Evil Geniuses really enjoy it. It's, you know, while Rogue did win the ban phase, in my opinion, it had mostly to do with the Cafe Clubhouse. The Consulate was through and through Evil Geniuses maps. And the fact that they managed to get all the way to it explains exactly why we're currently on such a lead for Evil Geniuses. Match point inches away. Now the question is, if we see Evil Geniuses versus Penta, who's going to be the more proficient Consulate team?
I don't want to be too hasty because it was only 1 map ago when Evil Geniuses led Rogue 4-1 and started their what could have been their last matchup on a basement, except this time around it was EG defending, and now it's them attacking. And they're going to get up, drone deployed, and begin to clear out the second floor. Young Hux's drone up inside of console office. But as you can see, there's only 1 that is above.
Very light roam from Rogue, likely due to the fact that they do not want to risk anything at all in this match. Young not going to drone all the way over to admin office, which will mean whoever is roaming in that admin office will have a lot of maneuverability in the later end of the round. Question is, how long are they going to wait there? Because we've seen roams up in that office before that just haven't helped the team in even the slightest.
Now they'll start the drone on the main floor. They've gone a minute off of the clock. BC now inside has control of yellow stairs. If you can hold those yellow stairs all the way down, maybe flush somebody out of pipes or even the pillar, then your ability to get inside of the garage itself and get a plant off becomes so much easier. A bandit trick though from Necrox. Brian starts the fragging as the Ash of Canadian sprints to his death. He was on yellow stairs as well. Gets completely shut down by the smoke, and Brian's still there waiting. The drone will go in through the doorway, and Young, knowing that there's a couple lined up, will very smartly reposition himself.
Canadian saw the lack of barbed wire and thought to himself, oh, easy rotation to top of yellow. He was wrong. Brian did some great reactions there. Only a minute for Evil Geniuses, and they have yet to deal with any of the roamers or this bathroom roam, which Eclipse will fall off very quickly. Still, a roamer upstairs, that slash hug. He's gonna, wow, die extremely fast. BC, what an excellent headshot. Seemed like we were gonna see Slash get some frags there, but he gets absolutely shut down.
Round number 6 drawing to a close. Both teams are at even. You hear another Elemine go out from Eclipse, who was able to scoot off just earlier after losing a small portion of health. Now, with that bandit trick being applied to Necrox, the garage push not as successful. Eclipse sneaking up, the Blackbeard around the corner, Young shreds him. Evil Genius is now up by 1 after fighting back. They lost 1 early. Smokes from Brian will be sent to the front of White Van as NVK drops. Avian punishes him. 3 members of Rogue inside of Cafeteria, but EG running out of time. Young tossed out by Easily. They'll need to repossess that diffuser and start to get the plant down. Too much pressure, but BC gets traded off. It's all up to Necrox. Rogue, a great round, and Brian in particular. He'll keep his team's fortunes alive. It's 4-2 in favor of Evil Geniuses.
A very narrowly successful defense there from Rogue. They almost lost it all, but luckily the anchors pulled through despite the roamers not accomplishing much of anything. Top floor defense now for Evil Geniuses.
They were unsuccessful the last time that they went here. They will forego garage. So if you take a look at the two sites, we've gone lobby, console office, and lobby for EG so far.
Defuse bombs.
It's been Rogue who's gone to garage twice, once unsuccessful, most recently the other way.
No castle for Evil Geniuses, but they're still going to open up those rotations into the B bomb site so they don't have to worry about using the doorway. Going for an unreinforced closet strategy here, which makes sense. Prioritizing yellow stairs control when faced with a B bomb site take can aid you quite a lot on defense. BC going to be setting up the mirror window that faces admin.
10 seconds to go.
Very powerful position.
We've seen these defenses fall apart very quickly, though, if they can't
5 seconds
stick
left.
inside of admin office. If you forego that control early on, and you potentially lose one or two operators,
Locate and defuse a bomb.
your chances shrink very, very quickly, and quite drastically, too. It's very easy for teams at that opportunity just to be able to throw the remainder of their resources onto the site, get a quick plant off after pushing you out of projector.
Evil Geniuses are putting quite a lot of emphasis on that admin office, though, and it doesn't look like Rogue is poised to take it. Instead, they're going to be opting for a B bomb site take, which makes sense given their success here. Whoa! That is going to be Canadian actually getting the kill as Eclipse is on his drone, sees Canadian, goes through Canadian with the drone, but does not expect him to be right on the window and loses the fight. Or, I guess, just gives away his life.
Losing a Zofia whose ability to disrupt any kind of counterattack is very, very rough, especially in the early going. Right now, the only other operator who has that ability, other than, I guess, a Hibana to open things up, to really influence a site would be that Ying of Slash. Can effectively trade off a couple of those Candelas and maybe a smoke or two reliably for a kill of the defenders. It's Slash who's sitting right now on rappel, just in console office window, using that enormous magazine of the T95 to create some holes inside of bathroom, push out the defenders of EG.
Still a lot of roamers on EG's side. Rogue hasn't put any effort into clearing them so far. Brian outside on cement wall just trying to hold the potential pulse C4 from below. That's going to be Canadian who starts going for it, but Brian's not holding the angle anymore.
Rotating inside of lobby. Canadian still on the bottom floor, not being pushed nor challenged. Slash has now been doubled up on console office window. Been joined by the Thatcher of Easily, will now fall off, take out the door at the bottom of yellow. He sees a rotate, but isn't able to capitalize on it. Just not quick enough. Canadian runs out, looks to see who's on rappel, but gets shredded. No, Canadian. A gamble that does not pay off. Slash is prepared, and he folds. Final 30 seconds. Still holding on match point. Rogue looking to continue on a comeback that they started last round. It's 4-4. They lost Eclipse early on. Candelas go off though. Necrox eliminates Brian. That was the Hibana. Avian takes down Young, and both teams lose one in the process. Necrox on yellow as he'll be joined by NBK. The Slash Hug tears through BC, and it's just up to the two off-site. Slash holding a great angle. He takes out Necrox now. NBK needs to try to stop the defuse, but can't. The C4 doesn't have anything, doesn't have control of site. Diffuser goes off. The wrong bomb site, just inside of A. He sees one, a great round from Slash, the captain of Rogue, and EG now has lost 2 in a row. Rogue could be mounting a comeback in front of our very eyes.
Almost direct reflection of Clubhouse. Rogue not letting go quite yet. They want this to go all the way to overtime. They need to win but one more round, and they will go on to defense of the lobby in an attempt to do so. You can see Troy there, Canadian, thinking over his options for his team. You got to get really creative, and it looks like Rogue is actually going to be switching it up, not going to the middle floor, instead going up to the top, bringing that castle. Interesting that there's going to be a shield in the doorway there of B, given that the castle from Avian has been picked. Wonder where those barricades are going to see usefulness now.
It's a very similar composition to last time around. The deployable shield, though, is not usual for them to see that.
I'm still just curious, honestly, where is Avian going to put those castles? There's only so many places where you could put them where they're useful for your team. Was this a good decision by Rogue to bring the castle barricades? I mean, you could bring so many other operators that would aid your team significantly. A Valkyrie, just offhand, would be fantastic on this bomb site.
All three of them are up. You can see that there's one on the top of Visa stairs.
Yep.
Here's there's one on Visa window as well, just from above, leaving that one panel open. This is similar to what they did last time, except he'd used another castle barricade, if I believe, far off site.
I like the idea here from Avian and more broadly Rogue. Evil Geniuses poised to take into admin office. Very important piece of control that Rogue has largely forfeited.
Last time around, EG put all of their eggs in the basket of admin office, and Rogue just completely ignored it and decided to push console office. That burned EG as they weren't able to repel the push strongly enough.
Eclipse going to be calling out the admin pressure, using his heartbeat detector all the way down in servers. BC opening up that drop down, going to give his team good control over Visa as well from below. So Eclipse would be hard pressed to get the C4.
They're just trying to see if there's going to be another run out or push at any time. Lost most of his health. Still a default camera up down in Visa. It's Slash who is on the roam, watching to see if there's anybody at yellow stairs. Eclipse is down with him as well. Eclipse is at the top of the spiral stairs from the basement, just on the main landing.
A lot of this round's outcome is going to come down to what those two roamers accomplish. As Canadian uses most of his lifeline, he's not going to get anything from it. An open castle barricade to the A doorway. That's pressure now being applied to Brian. As the drones come out from behind, they will be conscious of his position and the fact that he is starting to use his utility. Melee on the window from Young. Now he's got to be careful. He only has a bullet's worth of HP, but Avian goes down thanks to Canadian pushing into reception. Young gets another.
That's Brian off the board, an advantage that is so crucial. There are two members off site of Rogue, and Slash goes down trying to get to site. It's all Easily and Eclipse. We'll see one peek around the corner. Eclipse gets one, Eclipse two, huge, but traded off by NBK. It's all up to Easily, the newest member of Rogue. Will try to keep his team's hopes and dreams alive. He gets droned out inside of Connector, and EMP will go off. You can see them all lined up. He'll contest just on the doorway. He has 30 seconds to stop them from successfully getting a defuse off, but in the midst of it is Canadian. They'll hold long angles as Easily gets eliminated from Young. Evil Geniuses will go to your grand final.
Evil Geniuses in high spirits, but you can see by the look on their faces, it took a lot more work than they were expecting. Rogue putting up a heck of a fight.